Yeah, Prophet Marchello, Currence. So, yeah, we just gonna talk politics. Just keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got that new offering out there, that spiritual offering out there. That's for the whole body of Christ, man. You know, I'm not just doing this for me, because we're in this spiritual war. There's no doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm the only one? No, that's what I mean. I ain't the only one in this spiritual war. So it's for us. You know what I'm saying? It's for God's true people. For our people that's in the dark, that don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? We can't even. It's almost like, I've explained this before. If you've ever, it's like this. It's like this. Some people been in the streets, and their family didn't know nothing about the streets. Like your grandma, your grandmother. Your grandmother don't know nothing about the streets. So if you try to explain to her conspiracy, lames, people plotting and playing games, but they slipping, but they lacking. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't ready to catch no bodies. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't explain all of that stuff, man. You can't explain the condition of the streets to somebody from an older generation. So if you're a Christian that got older family members, just realize, man, if they not truly discerning and they don't keep their ear to the streets, because with every generation you gotta keep your ear to the streets. I keep my ear to the streets. So if you think I'm some old dude that don't keep my ear to the streets, I always do. So I'm aware of how the streets are. Mind you, I've been in the streets. I just left the streets. I've been homeless. That's the streets. So that's why I sound like the streets. Because if you in the jungle, what people don't know, see, you can't let America interpret anything. You can't even let them interpret homelessness, because they gonna look at that as, oh, you were just a bum. Now go ask a black man like me what's being homeless. That's modern day boot camp for a military person. I can make a soldier on the streets, because you're gonna understand the elements. You're gonna get survival skills. You're gonna get stronger psychologically than the average person, because you're on the streets. You're homeless. Now go ask somebody that's part of the culture what's homelessness. You know what I'm saying? It's the closest thing to military boot camp that you can get. That's why I think some of them scared of people that's homeless. You know, you meet some of the most spiritual people. These little witchcraft people think they spiritual. You meet some of the most spiritual people on the streets, because they outside the system. They the people that's outside the system. So look at homeless people as people outside the system. You one of them already. You outside the system. So if you find yourself homeless every once in a while, if you find yourself homeless or something like that, man, it's because ultimately you outside the system. We are outside the system. You might have got pushed outside the system. So man, I don't even try to explain to traditional religious people what's going on. But this is the front lines of war. War is what's going on right now. And for us as God's people, everyone wants to discern people. I'm gonna do a whole video about this. Learn to discern times, seasons, and events, not just people. Because half the people that's trying to discern people, they ghetto. They love sipping tea. They like to just be in the know of what's going on. Their intentions are not pure. So I don't pay attention to people talking about discernment half the times, because you know what happens? They fall in the category of a busybody in other men's matters. That's what they fall. The category they fall in. Look at the Bible about busybodies in other men's matters. So there's a thin line between discernment and being a busybody in other men's matters. Soon as you start getting in other men's matters, you left discernment. You left discernment when you start getting in other men's matters. Okay, so you understand the difference. That's why everything is about balance, man. You got busybodies in other men's matters, talking about they discerning, trying to discern. Nah, buddy. See, that's how you know you're a master. They can't pull no wool over my eyes. Some of these people out here are just trying to be in the know, sipping tea, trying to see. They like the whole real life video game effect that's going on in the world. They like that. Okay, so we have to be discerning of the events, the things that's going on. Okay, we have to be a part of. We have to set ourselves apart from a community that uh, is all about. They go from one extreme to the other. When we talk about war against them, oh no, that's out the question. But low key, some of these people are trying to discern from the side of the enemy what they talking about and listening to them. Oh yeah, they listen. They halfway. You got some Christians halfway listening to them. But when we defend ourselves, oh no, that's out the question. So man, I don't make no apologies for handling my business like I'm handling it. You know what I'm saying? It's some real Christian rappers that's real out here, and they believe in gun licenses, and they believe in getting strapped for real. And that's the people I salute. You know what I'm saying? Because it's deeper than music for me. It's deeper than the culture for me. I'm about this life, and black people can't hold me back from being about this life. So that's based on your opinion. You ain't. Look at me. You don't see no scars on my face, do you? You don't see no war scars. So I don't walk through these people a million times. I just left the streets last night. I'm not holding you back. I just carry God's protection with me. So I'm not begging for mercy. I ain't never begged for mercy. So I walk through the streets like it ain't nothing. And I'm not boasting and bragging about that. I'm just keeping it 100 that I'm holding my head and walking through the streets and ain't nobody saying nothing and quiet as kept. Meanwhile, people act like they got such a pressure on me. Man, I'm walking through your pressure. Let's just make it clear. I'm walking through pressure. I'm walking through everything. I don't care nothing about what you think. And I'm still, listen, I always stay armed. I always stay armed. So let's keep everything in reality, man, because people will play into these narratives like I'm running scared. But at the same time, if I was that scared, I'd come out in the daytime. I wouldn't dare come out. A scary person ain't gonna dare come out in the nighttime, because people can get away with crimes way more easier. The scary person gonna come out in the daytime. Think about it. When everybody outside, everybody looking out the windows, that's when scary people gonna come out. If you ain't scary, I'm gonna come out there at nighttime when people can slide by and do whatever, and ain't nobody out there, man. So man, listen, I'm just keeping it 100 with you, bro. Like, I believe in carrying gun license. I believe in getting your gun license and smoking the first thing to step your way. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. It's like we could be soldiers about it, or we could be thugs about it. You know what I'm saying? But for me, man, it's just like I believe in carrying guns license. I believe in smoking these Freemasons. You know what I'm saying? That play games and conspire in our face. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not inciting you to go kill one of them or anything like that. But I'm saying, as far as my worldview, you know what I'm saying, they the enemy. You know what I'm saying? So dig it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, we might have to go to full-time war with these people. Before it's all said and done, you gotta be ready to get on the front lines against these people. You know what I'm saying? It may escalate to that. Just keep that in mind. Right now, we got the luxury of just fighting spiritual war. You know what I'm saying? To where we just go into war with spiritual weapons, and we don't have to fight in the physical. But it may escalate. You know what I'm saying? If it does, like, we're going to get on the road. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to say, we're going to get on the road. Catch as many bodies as we got to. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I don't care about them. I don't care I know we can beat them. I already smell blood. You know what I'm saying? Blood is in the water. Blood is in the water today. We're not letting people trigger us, you know what I'm saying? And they think we're stupid to this. We done been through this too many times. You ain't gonna one up on me. You ain't gonna trigger me and make me think you won. I don't care about that. I don't value that. In order for that to beat me, I have to value it. I don't value that. So I don't care if it seems like I'm a bad person. I don't care if it seems like I have dirty thoughts or wrong thoughts. I know you ain't gonna challenge it. I don't care about it. Okay, it's that simple. And I'm with God at the same time. So and that's the punchline. Because people think they can separate you with God from God with that kind of mentality. No, I'm gonna be like that, and I'm gonna still be with God. Because I don't supposed to sit up and listen and be triggered by hypocrites. People that is doing way worse than anything we can imagine. They try to paint us like we Freddy Krueger. At the same time, Freddy Krueger never marry no children, did he? Freddy Krueger didn't marry children, did he? Oh, y'all married children in America. Okay, so Freddy Krueger didn't marry children, did he? Jason didn't marry no children, did he? America, you doing worse than Freddy Krueger and Jason. Yeah. Stop playing these games, bro. Like, we win it like in a big way, man. So I that's why I get up out of my bed for these lanes trying to trigger, man. You know what I'm saying? Them teenagers to me all day. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, but this is what I wanted to talk about, man. After we go run our errands in these final hours, they trying to trigger on when we run our errands. If you haven't noticed. Okay, so anytime we out there running our errands, they gonna use people all in the grocery store. Them are all enemies, including the merchant, the one selling us stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can't ever, even though you gotta converse with the merchant, you can never totally trust the merchant. All it is business, money and business in exchange. And just as they converse with the enemy, we converse with their enemy, which is God. God is their enemy. Okay, so we ain't slipping on that. We finna get revenge on everybody at these businesses, these Freemasons at these businesses. We finna, cause what I'm gonna shut down is the fact that they acting like they gangbangers. I can't stand that kind of stuff. Gangbanger Freemasons, really? That right there, man, is what we after. That mentality, like they gang, they not gang, bruh. They listen, bro. You ain't on the edge of catching nobody. Your Freemasonry tell you to do something else. Your Freemasonry tell you to do something else, buddy. You ain't built like that. So I ain't gonna let people walk around like they gang. See, they never thought a Christian community, Christians like me would come along. I'm built like David. Who is these uncircumcised Philistines define the kingdom of God? Who is these uncircumcised Freemasons? Who is these Americans, uncircumcised Americans, playing with God's people? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm on, man. That's what vibe I'm on. If you don't know what it is, it ain't nothing carnal, man. It ain't nothing retarded. It's I can show you in the Bible, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just that the times change in the last days, and you didn't know this was gonna happen in the last days. Many of you that you stuck in the church world like it was before all this stuff happened. That time is gone, man. Church time world where you was in that whole bubble of 2004 watching TBN and watching the Christian programming. That time is gone. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. Don't try to bring it back. You can't. I mean, it's gone. So it's like almost like I don't even listen to old messages because they don't apply today. Because the times change so drastically, because God has changed concerning these people, on these people. You know what I mean? It's like God is with us. He's riding with us. He's sliding with us. All this, you can't even listen to no old message about God blessing America. That these prophecies for America. That's done, bro. That's done. Put a fork in it, bro. That's done. Okay, so after you come in from running your errands, I recommend, because of all these lames around you, to fast right after you come in. See, like me, I done got all my food, and they thought I was gonna come in here and just be chowing down and all of this, and they just laughing back and sitting back. You know what I'm saying, man? I'm really about this life, man. I get my food to survive. I don't get this food to like flex on people and stuff and stupid stuff like that, man. This my life is real. I don't act like these teenagers, these grown men acting like teenagers. I don't act like a grown man that's like a teenager. I guess because of the baby face, and I'm part Filipino, I'm black, Filipino, and Latino. Cause I look young. You know what I'm saying? I'm not all African. Okay, and that's just what it is. I'm not. Okay, so that kind of lets you know, man. Like, if you misjudge me, you think you know what you know. You don't. You don't. Of course, you got a problem. I already know what you done. I think like the streets, and we gonna mash until it's done. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Okay, I just put $1 million out there. You think I'm gonna put $1 million out there and come be friends with the people? I just put $1 million on the head of these people. If you don't know what I'm talking about, man, I send money to Colombia, to churches in Colombia. The USD, US dollar, is way more valuable. Almost any, like, I done send money to Egypt. I done send money to Germany. I got connections. I got spiritual connections, churches that I sent to in Germany, Egypt, England, right? And even in Taiwan. I've even sent money to Taiwan probably in the last month or so. So I'm way out east where China's at, on the side of China. I'm doing all of this from this position. You understand me? I'm not playing games, bro. This is already World War III. It's already, it started out as psychological. Guerrilla warfare and psychology. America's the one provoked it. America provoked World War III through the Freemasons and all these secret societies playing around Christians. Okay, they the one provoked it worldwide. America, nobody woke up because they didn't listen and take it seriously the first time. The first warning shot was COVID-19. That was for what they did against God's people. Okay, they thought they was bodying me because they listened. Now, when they get done listening to that hip hop and smoking weed, when you get done with that, you're gonna see the real world that we living in, right? Where the leader from Venezuela is right here in Brooklyn. That's what we talk about. You'll say that's Trump. No, you stupid. That's escalation. That's what it is. That part. We looking at the escalation, buddy. That's escalation. The Americans gonna be in trouble with that. That's why they ain't talking about it. They trying to keep it since Maduro is in ain't gonna see the courts till the 17th of March, right? They trying to stop talking about that less as possible so people don't get revved up and want to do something. Especially the Latino community. They gotta kind of shut down on that so nobody will be thinking about it. And most people that's programmed, they gonna stop thinking about it when they stop showing visuals. You know what I'm saying? But he's still here. You know what I'm saying? And that's what my mind frame is at, man. We think about real big boy stuff. You know what I'm saying? I just put $1 million back down there in South America while Maduro is here in Brooklyn. He's right here. I'm in Brooklyn. I don't care nothing about it. I don't care nothing about Brooklyn. The old Brooklyn is gone. We don't care nothing about it. Okay? The old Brooklyn is gone. Okay, if America's gone, New York is gone, how Brooklyn ain't gone? See, that's what's the Brooklyn nights, you're going to have a hard time with it. That part, that's 7 hours. Listen, you're having a hard time with Brooklyn being gone, right? Brooklyn's gone, man. The old Brooklyn is gone. It's gone. Ain't no need, so it ain't no need for me to sit here act like I got loyalty to something that's gone. I used to like Brooklyn when I first came here. I used to live in Brooklyn. This ain't my first time living in no Brooklyn, bro. So let's keep that in mind. Let the suckers keep that in mind. I lived in Brooklyn more than two other times. 3, really. This is the 4th time I lived in Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn in the Armory on Atlantic Avenue. I lived in East New York. I lived in Knickerbocker, working with For Ready, Willing, and Able. That's 3, and this is the 4th time. This ain't the 3rd. I've lived in Brooklyn 4 times. That's 4 different locations. Okay? I'm heavyweight, bro. I hold weight. And keep in mind, I'm interacting with the community. You look at how I'm carrying myself now. Nah, man, I'm interacting with the community in Brooklyn all the other times. I'm in the fort now. I know what I'm doing. I'm getting it done. Can't y'all tell I'm getting it done? Okay, man. So you know what I'm saying, man. Listen, we ain't playing no fairy tale cartoon games. Now you see what I'm saying. These cartoon games. We talking about real life. We ain't talking about none of that running around Tom and Jerry cartoon world. Cartoons running around. cartoon. Hey, that's the sound they make when they come around and cartoon. We don't care nothing about that. You thought I was like you. Listen to my brother. He don't know. Man, me and him ain't never really been close like that. Not really. Not really. Not really, man. You know what I'm saying? I could tell you the reasons why, but me and him ain't never really been brothers like that. You know what I'm saying? Not really. Not really. Cause he was never 100 in any situation. Whether we was out in the streets, man, he wasn't like I was when I was a kid. And me and him was no. Nah. Then when we became Christians, when I became a Christian first, and he trying to come over and be a Christian, he was never really like me. So no matter if he tried to be in the streets or a Christian, he just was never hardcore. You know what I'm saying? Like he never. You know what I'm saying? We hardcore Christians. I can catch a body being a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Like yo, like you play with this spirituality. That's what's gonna happen. That's the surprise sound when the judgment come from God. I'm serious, man. It's man. Listen, I done put over $1 million in South America. You think I'm letting bums in New York, in America play with me, in Brooklyn play with me? No, bro. That's one of the reasons I got up, man. These dudes trying to trigger on things, and all they doing is gaslighting anyway. Cause like when we on our phone, they gonna try to trigger the mind with all kind of stuff according to whatever information they got on you or they think they got on you. They gonna try to trigger you, right? So I'm just sitting there watching these videos or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Being real. See, a hater can't stand. A lame can't stand with a real dude is just collected and cool and relaxed. Watch them. They gotta try to play with you because that ain't they can't chill hard and lean hard on a chill lean like a real one. You know what I'm saying? So they gotta try to play. That's their mind got them hang-ups. You understand? They can't. That's a knucklehead. For like a New Yorker would say, it's a knucklehead. A knucklehead to me is a person that gotta play games and mess. So most of these gang stalkers ain't nothing but knuckleheads in the world we live in. They the type of people that gotta do some stupid stuff. So it works perfectly when they do gang stalking or whatever, because they knuckleheads. They can't sit still. You know what I'm saying? They can't. They suffer, from autism. Some of them got autism and everything. I ain't got no autism. I ain't got nothing. I just suffer from racism where even black people think I'm black and I'm not all black. I'm Filipino. I'm part Asian. Okay, so you can't look at me like a regular black dude. I'm not. Okay? And so if you don't see me right, then that's your level that you're on. I can't help you. Okay, now if you see me as a black, Latino, Filipino man, okay, then you can see me clearly. You know what I'm saying? And see, ain't nothing wrong with me. And white America gonna do that too, cause they gonna size you up based on black guy. They can't see you. People that have multiple race bloodlines also go through racism from white people and black people. Oh, you go through racism from both. If you got more than a couple bloodlines, you're gonna go through racism from white people and black people. It's true. It's true. It's true. A white man can't see me. You can barely see these black people. So you gonna size me up based on me looking like a black guy to you, and I'm not a black guy. So a dumb cop gonna come in looking at me like I'm a black guy. They just not cultured as they think they are. They not cultured as they think they are, man. So man, we getting down to business. You know what I'm saying? We getting down to business. We ain't showing no mercy and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? A war is a war. You know what I'm saying? what I notice is when you go out there, oh, they'll play games. But then when you come back in the house, if you high ranking, when you come back in the house, oh, now they want to act like, oh, we're so sorry. You know, man, come on, man. You a teenager in your brain. Stick to your own. Keep the same energy that you had when I went out there. That's all we saying is be 100. Keep the same energy that you got out there in here. Keep that same energy going. Don't switch up and act like you got love. I ain't got no love. I ain't got no love. I ain't got no love for you. That's how it is. It ain't anger. It ain't hate. It ain't animosity. It's a grown man making his mind up on the situation. That's all it is. You thought I was controlled with that 1990s format, and I'm from the 21st century, buddy. That Freemason mind psychological stuff, we evolved past that as humanity. That ain't gonna work on me. All that psychological stuff y'all used, that would have worked in the 80s and the 70s or something. I don't know how to describe it. It's spiritual, but we're immune to that kind of stuff. It's that more than anything. We're immune to it. And we built way stronger. What white folks and black people don't even know about their own people. Man, we built way stronger than the previous generations. That's human evolution. You're gonna evolve past all the vibrations, the negative energy and everything. We don't fold. We don't fold no more. You know what I'm saying? That fold, we don't fold. No. That's why we evolved past Freemasons. Freemasons don't mean nothing to me. I ain't scared of that. We immune to that. I'm dead serious. I ain't afraid of it. And I've won. It'll be one thing to say I'm not afraid of something and I don't win. I've won every war. I see everything that they doing. Okay, and if I don't catch it, God catch it. Remember that. You know what I'm saying? We don't play game banging like we Crips and Blood, because they not Crips or Bloods. That's not gang, bruh. Freemason and anybody like them is not gang. No, they not, bruh. They'll get people that come from the streets and they'll recruit people that they think is gang. But once they become a part of their format, that's not gang. You lose gang when you come to car. If you gang, you lose gang when you become part of them. Gang gonna lose himself joining that. That's that. That's how it is. That's how it is. So, you know, they halfway jocking me and they halfway hating and they halfway jealous. You know what I'm saying? So I know that. I know all of that, man. That's how you know I know what the battlefield really consists of. Half of these people jocking me, half of these people, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Other people calling it out. How you gonna jock the person and halfway like the person you supposed to be going to war with? Cause you gay, you halfway bisexual, you gay, you got all that's gonna affect your psychology and worldviews. Yes, it is, and I'm gonna keep it 100 about it. When we go to war with somebody like you, and you halfway, I appeal to you. You halfway like me because your psychology is gay and bisexual. Me, a real man, we harder than a woman or a gay person. I don't care how hard and violent you think you are. A man is just way more harsh. Way more harsh than any gay dude. No, you gonna be built halfway like a female. That's true. It no matter if you're from the military, I don't care what you do. I'm gonna show you the average gay guy is still not as harsh as a man in war. When I'm in war, man, listen, I have no compassion. That's how you know I got the psychology of a man. I don't have no compassion on you and your families or nothing. And you're expecting gay psychology, and it's not gonna happen. Bisexual psychology, it's not gonna happen, bro. It's not gonna happen here. I'm telling you right now. Okay, that all-American mentality, psychology, that too. That's how it is. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna show black people, man, listen. You don't play like it's dark side versus us and all of that, and try to get over there and do a little thriller dance and shake your butt like you're doing a little thriller dance. We turn up too. We shake a tail feather too. And when we shake a tail feather, listen, everybody gonna feel us, buddy. When our phone come on the scene, you gonna feel it, buddy. Yes, sir. Yeah, that ain't the game you want to play. Cause see, I know you is halfway corny when you playing and approaching me. Yeah, you halfway on corny, like thinking you some thriller or some dark side kind of stuff. Some stuff that you got from the internet, some stuff that you got from white culture, American culture, something that you let form your actual brain and reality. That's the most dangerous thing that comes from this community. Is that you can look at this stuff on TV and form your own reality. I stayed in reality. I escaped the matrix and the internet and all of that. I do videos and everything, but I'm not part of the internet community. I'm glad I don't got the views no more, really, because I don't have to censor myself. I don't have to censor myself for a certain audience. I can say what I feel, and I don't have no regret. I don't have to worry about people trolling about it later. Or these soft Christians that will sit up and argue with you about your position and what it should be. And I already know, man. I already know what I'm talking about. Okay? Okay, if you can't see me clearly, you know what I'm saying? And you can't see me as a black, Latino, and Filipino man, and you think I'm gay or whatever, then that's you being halfway retarded. You need to get out the country. Go get out the country where you can see dudes that look like me. That's cutthroat. That's some homework for you. Look just like me, cutthroat. Here in America, you're not used to seeing mixtures. You're not used to seeing other ethnicities that you don't really know about. Okay, go out the country and go see some cutthroats outside the country. You know what I'm saying? That's real. Because you don't know me, all right? I'm telling you right now. Well, how you got me sized up on Mickey Mouse time and all of that, bro? Listen, I don't know where you get your information, but you can tell how people sizing you up. You know what I'm saying? Like you stupid or something. You know, like you crazy or something. Man, listen, I got more. Man, I'm smarter than your daddy. I'm smarter than your daddy. I know I'm smarter than your daddy. I tell it how it is. I'm smarter than your daddy. Halfway smarter than your daddy. Let alone something being wrong with me. No, I'm a full-bred leader, buddy. I'm an 8-star general. George Washington was a 7-star. I'm 8-star. I'm an 8-star general. Cause I beat the Americans. I beat all these. Let's call it. Let's review my stats. I beat military. I beat police. I beat black people. I beat Jamaicans. I beat Haitians and everything in between. These old women, these old men. I beat all these people. I beat all these Africans. Okay, that's where we are. We're not confused about this. Like we're at day one. We're not at day one. We're here. How long I've been here in Brooklyn? 3 months, right? Okay, so that's enough time for you to give it your best shot, right? And I'm still here. As far as your witchcraft, all the stuff these Africans been doing, the witchcraft and everything, I'm still here. Okay, so we're not at day one, right? Okay, you tried, it didn't work. Brooklyn tried. We're not at day one, are we? Okay, it's not day one. Okay. Yeah. Because if you don't say this, they'll act like on low key, like it's day one. That's why I'm talking like this and moving like this. I'm not playing no games with these suckers. I know they suckers. I know what I'm talking about. I lived all in California, everywhere. I've been around a lot of people. So I know people, and I know these suckers. I know that. I've been around killers from coast to coast. You know what I'm saying? I know suckers when I see it. I get respect from California all the way back here. I'm not taking no disrespect. Okay, if you going by information to make you feel comfortable about me, to make you feel like you could take me, you're going to lose, buddy. I'm telling you right now. You listen to that old information about me, and that's not who I am today, you're going to lose. Okay? Now that's you playing monkey business as a clown. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't say I'm doing anything. You know what I'm doing? I'm serving the Lord. That's what I'm doing. I'm not having sex with nobody. Not man, woman, and I don't do children. I ain't having sex with no women and no men. No pornography. Okay? You can't stop jacking your penis. You can't stop playing with your twat. Okay? So, I mean, that's the difference between me and you. Okay, let's get this understood. Your opinion of me is trivial. I don't care what you feel. If you listen, I have what you need. If you want to try me, that's it. I'm from North Carolina. I'm not from New York. So if you size me up based on, I figure if you from New York, you used to New York energy. You're not used to North Carolina energy, and you know you're not. So then that's why you keep reading me the wrong way, buddy. You're arrogant in your readings. You think you know what you talk about, and I know you're wrong. Okay, so admit it. It's not perfect. Your reading, your washed up readings is wrong about me. And see, I could easily have you based on how you read me. I like it. I like you misreading me. Cause while you misreading me, you ain't gonna take me as seriously as you're supposed to. Just like you never do. And guess what? You could say that's this kind of spy-like camouflage that gets me through the cracks. Because I promise you I'm your worst nightmare. I promise you that. I promise you I'm worse than anybody in this building. I promise you I'm worse than Brooklyn. I promise you I'm worse than New York. I promise you that. They can't do anything that I do. I can affect this whole community. New York can't do that. I'm a prophet of God. New York can't do what I do. I'm your worst nightmare, buddy. And you deserve it. See, God knew who I was. And all that running around playing with people, he finally he knew I would be the one. Ain't no way in the world the person that's going to beat these people is going to be somebody talking about loving these people. Now I want you to think about that. The person that's going to beat these people is not going to be nobody talking about love. Think about it. No. You got to go ahead and take care of your business. It's like, you know, some of y'all just from the streets and you became a Christian. I'm going to tell you something. God is going to begin to use that heart of courage for his purpose. He ain't going to just throw that away. See, some Christians in America going to tell you if you came from the streets and you had juice to do felonies and you had juice to do a lot of illegal stuff, that the courage you got in your heart, who you are, like, that ain't got nothing to do with God, and God just going to take that. Nah, that ain't what happened with me. I'm going to tell you what happened with me. And this is real. I wouldn't say nothing that I don't believe. I won't say nothing haphazardly, bro. God took the heart that I got, that I had to kill to hurt people. He took that heart and refined it to where now I use that as a soldier for God. He refined it to where now it's used. It ain't gone. See, they thought it was gone. No, it's not gone. It's just refined for God's use and purpose, which means I'm still a threat. Oh yeah. Try me just right. Try me just right. They'll be scooping you up out of this building. They'll be scooping you up out this building, buddy. Cross that threshold and see what happened to you. I tell the police I got legal right to kill anybody that come through that threshold, because once this is a private room for me, right? Once this is a private room for me, I could be undressed or anything, perceiving myself to be in my own company, and this is my own privacy. Therefore, nobody should be coming through that door. Once I have this room as a form of my privacy, I could be laying here with no clothes on. That's the reason why. Somebody done came through this door, even the staff, and they would open the door, unlock the door, and didn't even knock on the door. Didn't even knock. I ain't say nothing though. I ain't say nothing. I could have raised hell about that. That's people trying to be cute, man, acting like they got some seniority or authority that they don't have. You don't open up no door and not knock on the door. And then look in and all of that, man. Come on, man. That's some gay spirits, bro. I'm telling you, trying to see what they can see or something. I don't know, maybe. I don't know, man, but somebody opened this door unauthorized. You're supposed to knock on that door. And see, an arrogant spirit will think, well, I'll just come in. Okay? And I'll just use the chain of command. Yeah, I'm one of them black people that know the chain of command. I have anybody's job in this building. Play with me the wrong way, and I have your job, buddy. All I got to do is keep going up the chain of command. That's not snitching. That's being a professional black man. No, I don't stick to G codes when it comes to a business. To a business, this is a business. This ain't the streets. That's why these lame suckers need to realize that. If you're a real man, you're going to let the streets be the streets and a business be a business. You ain't going to come to a restaurant with street codes. No, you're not. If you get bad business, what you going to do? You calling corporate. I ain't gonna say, oh, that would be snitching. That's lame to even think like that. See, some people are so smart they stupid, bro. I can't listen. Some people act like they halfway snitching, going to corporate, and you just gonna let it go if you get bad service from a restaurant or a company. I'm like, no, buddy. That's a business. I know you on the clock. I've worked in my life. You're on the clock. And you're a little unprofessional to be on the clock. Right. And for us to have worked, that's the standard we gonna hold you to. That's all it is. It ain't. Listen, buddy. Listen. We gonna hold you to a standard of professionalism because we all gotta do it. If I clock in on a job, I gotta be professional. I can't be no gangster on a job. That's why some of y'all are unemployable. You can't be no gangster on a job, bruh. No. You trading one life for the other. You trading one life for the other. You can't be that's oxymoron almost. How you a gangster on a job? A gangster is criminal and makes money outside of it or a vocation. More times than not. How you gonna be a gangster on a job, bruh? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's corny people to me. Now, I can be 100, right? On a job. I can still be a man on a job, right? Right. But when I hear somebody talking street rules and regulations, okay, we can pull that to the side. I'm going to be professional. I'm going to say, hold up, bro. Hold up. I'm going to make sure nobody, listen, man. I'm on the clock right now, right? You know that, right? This is my bread and butter. But listen, bro, if you got a problem, bro, listen, I can clock out. We ain't gonna do this here. I clock out, and listen, we can go right out there. That's how you take that. That's how you stay a gang. That's being real on the job. Now I ain't finna do that. I'm gonna clock out. Say, hey, yo, I got something to do. I'm gonna tell my boss man I got something to do. I'm gonna have so much credibility. I'm gonna clock out anyway. I ain't gonna do it on the job. I'm gonna just clock out. I'm gonna say I got something to do. Whether he accepted or not, I'm a good worker. He gonna just say, what happened? I'm just like, I had something to do. I had to rush no matter what it was. I had an emergency. I come step to you like a man, bro. But I ain't gonna let you ruin my bread and butter. I'm gonna still have that job. And I'm gonna take care of you. That's how you do it. Listen. And depending on how bad it gets, I'm gonna have to keep my eyes open for you all the time. That's why I tell you, man, people that start problems on these jobs, you ain't in the streets. That's two different walks of life. Let's make this clear for these busters. If you work a job, you are not a gangster. Okay? It's two different walks of life. And you want me to show you how? I can come up to your job and get you. A gangster ain't gonna never be in no situation like that. A gangster ain't gonna be sitting there and sit and duck at a job and you done try the gangster. He can come back up your job and kill you. Think about it. two different walks of life. You can't afford to play a gangster, and I know where you work at. That's a clown. That's what I'm trying to show you. That's how you know I think how dangerous. You can tell I'm dangerous. Because if I know where you work and you play a gangster, I can come get with you. I can come get with you, man. You can't play like no gangster on no job and I know where you work at. So it's two different walks of life. They're not parallel. And that go for anybody in this building. That go for people outside this building. You play that gangster position and you are a worker at a job, you a sitting duck for somebody like me. I can take you anytime I want you. I can take you anytime. That's how a gangster think. You don't start nothing with somebody from the streets and you sit right there. It's not even that I'm so dangerous. It's principle. You can't play that position with somebody that's real and they know where you work at and they know where your routine's at. You can think about it. That's for all these new people I see. All of these politics, man. You work on a job. Stay in your lane, bruh. I tell people this to their face. Don't start nothing with the streets. And you're working at this job. Because you're a sitting duck. You can't play that position. And listen. Let's just look at it from a war tactician position. If I'm at war with you, right? I know where you work at. I know when you clock in. I know when you clock out. It's already a problem for you. You're a sitting duck. How you gonna be a gangster on the job and I know where you at? That's what I'm saying. People corny, bro. You don't think like people on the streets think. That's how they think, man. Now that you know, maybe I'm making you a better person. You know what young dudes like me think about? You a sitting duck. You a sitting duck on the job. I can easily come get with you. I can easily come get you. Like a pancake and just flip you. You just get fluffy. I just flip you like that. Throw you down and flip you 2 one time and it's over with. Scrape you right up off the skillet. No sticking. You wouldn't even stick to the thing. Listen, you wouldn't even stick on the job. You won't stick to the skillet, buddy. In other words, it'll be so easy. Like a non-stick pan. I just put you on there, boom, flip you one time, let you get to cook on that side, just flip you right on off, buddy. It won't be no resistance, in other words. If you on a job, you gonna be having your guard totally down, and then guess what? You most likely ain't gonna have no heat on you. You ain't gonna have no weapon on you. You're gonna be lacking on top of that. This is how people get smoked these days, I'm telling you. This is how. You stay in your lane. If you're a worker, you stay a worker. Don't come over here trying to be no rap, hippity hip hop stuff with me. Because I sound like the streets, not because I listen to a lot of rap. I listen to some stuff, some little spiritual rap. But I sound like this because I live in the streets everywhere. This is why. This is why I sound like this. I didn't learn this from YouTube. I didn't learn this from the internet. You know where I learned my slang from? The newest slang on everything from the streets. I get my slang from the streets. You get your slang from YouTube. That's the only you man. Listen, half the slang you use, you got it from YouTube. Slang I got straight from the streets. That's what I'm saying. Listen behind the white folks, man. That's what I'm telling you. Y'all slipping on the job, man. If I work a job, I'm telling you, I'm being transparent. If I work a job, it's no way in the world I'm finna start any smoke with people that come in and out my job. let's just say let's say I worked at a bodega, right? I'm not starting no problems with people and homies in the neighborhood. Why would you do that? Why would you get in politics with homies in the neighborhood? And then one of them can come up there and eat, or they can send somebody else. And you wouldn't even think about that. You wouldn't even know. They can send man or female up there, and what you gonna do? See, I'm gonna tell you what it is. You're not used to real gangsters and you're not used to real thugs and gangsters. No, you're not. You know how I know? Cause you play games on your own job. Like I can't come up there and get you, and you just up there, you slipping. How could you stop me? How? How could you stop me? That's what I'm telling you. I'm getting you good. I'm good. I'm getting you good. Cause you think you tight, you slipping. I done been all around the country. I done been to California in the last year. Okay, so this isn't coming from New York. This isn't coming from the South either. This is from coast to coast. My mentality consists of coast to coast perspective. Not just no New York. That's why you can't hear me. My perspective comes from the whole country. West Coast, Florida, North Carolina, everywhere I lived. If you on this job and you in these politics, you a sitting duck. I could easily come get with you. So you gotta count the cost. And it's gonna be happening more. It's already happening. People falling out with these people at the delis. You hear it every once in a while, maybe every 4 months or so. Every 4 months or so, somebody get bodied at these delis. Cause the dude is starting smoke with dudes around the way. You can't be starting no problems with homies in the neighborhood, and you work at a bodega, which I call a bodega. In the South, we call it a corner store, right? You can't start no problems with a dude at a corner store, and he know where you work at, which means he could even wait. He could just wait for you to get off. He could do that too. He could do it good and clean. He could wait for you to come on, get in your car, follow your car, everything. Boom. Nobody don't even know how you died. How they gonna know? How they gonna know, bro? Especially if he wait and get into a neighborhood. Now they got the neighborhood. They got the cameras on the houses though. You know, they got the cameras on. Everything is tracked by cameras. And as far as if you're a criminal, you don't know that. That's why I don't do nothing on camera. I don't do nothing on camera. You will rarely see me. No, I hesitate like a criminal. I don't do nothing on camera. It's perfect evidence. You know. But they gonna follow. It's cameras everywhere. On these businesses, in these traffic stops, in the traffic, in the road, that's how they track criminals. How you think the feds find criminals? Cameras. That's how they gonna know where they at and everything. Cause they gonna keep watching all the cameras where you went, like a video game. You went here, you went there, okay, he's here. Now he's here. And that's all they do is sit back and watch cameras. That's how they catch everybody. And the more cameras they got, listen, it's gonna be almost impossible to get away with a crime. It's almost impossible. It's almost already impossible. If you base it off cameras, it's almost impossible. But some people don't care. Then you got the next level of criminal. Well, hey, you dead. See, some people get comfortable. Well, the person ain't gonna do nothing because, what you mean? Person ain't gonna do no what? Cause what? See, that's a sucker too. You comfortable behind this building. This building can't save you. Haza can't save you from a person like me. If I wanted you, I'm just keeping it 100 with you. But you got the kind of sucker, the turkey that hide behind Haza. What Haza gonna do? Send their condolences to your family. That's what they gonna do. Say you was a good, proud turkey. You work for Hosler for X amount of time. He was a good proud turkey. Now he got stovetop in him, don't he? Put some stovetop dressing in that turkey. Think I'm playing and I'm not. I'm not to be played with, buddy. You better count the costs. That's all I'm saying. Because listen, I don't play them politics either. All that yapping and talking that ignorant black people do. Listen, I don't play them politics like that. Which means my radar is already going off. And if I was like I used to be, I would come get with you based off of talking. Point blank, period. Why wait? This is a person that's talking about you out of turn. Why wait? I don't see no reason to wait. I'm just a man that's more wiser now. That's all. But the old me mixed with who I am as I've grown as a man, if I wanted you, I would wait outside this building for you. And wait until every last one, because you're going to eventually come out. You got to. You're going to eventually come out that building. And I'll wait for you and sit around and wait for you. You don't play with people listen, I'm going to tell you something you might not know because you ain't from the streets. There is no one size fit all for killers. You got short killers, you got tall killers. You got short suckers and you got big suckers. You got fat suckers and you got real suckers. You got skinny suckers. It's no determination only in school when you're a kid. Only a kid is gonna think this. When you come out to the real world, with the whole world we live in, there is no determination. If you're trying to survive, you cannot determine who will kill you. By only one thing can you determine: their mentality. If they can articulate your death, that's who you don't play with. Because that's all it's based on. It's based on the will, the mind, the intellect to do whatever they don't want to do to you. And it could be little. And if you an ignorant black person that size people up like we in high school, you gonna miss the whole mentality of somebody that's gonna take your life. I can get you if I want you. When somebody talk like that, buddy, listen, what is in the way? What is in the way of that? Nothing. And that's how you need to think. These people up here in these stores, around here in these stores and stuff, that's in these politics, and maybe it makes you feel like you're cool. And on the dark side, the wild side, that's what I meant to say. Some of these people in these merchants that's working at these stores, these bodegas, it make you feel like you're on the wild side to play in these politics, don't it? Okay, buddy. You feel like you're on the wild side, don't you? You're going to be on the wild side, all right. When people get wild with you, you're going to be on the wild side, all right. I started shooting guns when I was 15 years old. I started shooting guns. I had this little friend. His dad was in the military. He had all kind of guns. So we used to go in his backyard and shoot guns when I was a kid. Okay, that's another thing for people that don't know no better. That's all it takes is a person to start learning to shoot guns. Then the next step is to shoot somebody. Listen, a real one knows that, right? Do you need to go to boot camp to learn how to shoot somebody? Do you need to hang in a dope hole, a drug house, what we call a dope hole? You need to hang in a dope hole to be a killer. It starts out with shooting guns. That's how it starts. More than not. You know how it starts? Shooting guns. That's all it takes. That's all it takes for the person to get the heart to shoot somebody. All they got to do is start shooting guns. Next thing you know, hey, you just point and shoot. That's what you've been doing. That's what you've been doing. That's all it takes. It don't take all this elaborate stuff that people think. That's a sucker to think that. Explain why all these young dudes in jail then, if it take all this stuff to shoot somebody. Huh? Explain how these people killed their ex-wife and her new husband. Look at that. Was he a gangster? No, he wasn't no gangster. That's what I'm telling you, man. That's why you got all different types of killers, man. Look at these people that's killing they ex-mom, they ex-wife, and you know what I'm saying? Look at that. What was he thinking? And that's the conclusion. It's all about what he was thinking, wasn't it? This dude wasn't no thug, no gangster. So then what pushed him over the edge? His thought process, man. That's all it was. I can break it down to a mentality. That's all it is. All them street theatrics and shaking your tail feathers that make it look cool and all of that. When all the music and all of that goes away, for those who are real, all it is principles and mentality. That's all it is, man. That's all it's broken down to. It's some stuff you can't fabricate. It's some stuff you can't lie. It's just no way to make that fake. It's not, no. And me, I know that. You know what I'm saying? You got all different types of killers. It ain't one size fit all. You know, people say killers move in silence. I'm gonna tell you, from a person that's been around a lot of killers, that don't make sense to me. The only time killers move in silence is if they done a crime. If they do, and in the act of doing the crime. You got killers that got personality, charisma, beautiful personality. They gonna start talking when they get done. Got all kind of flair. I've been around killers with flair and everything. The quiet killers, that don't make up all these killers these days. So if you the type of person that size up people based on talking, then listen, buddy, you gonna be a casualty. Playing with people that can talk it and back it up. Like the old school. The old school, look at your uncle and your daddy. You see how they talk? Especially if you're black. An old school can talk junk and beat you down and talk junk after they beat you down. That's how we used to be built. That's why you don't know no better. You listen, you had street dudes that had charisma like Muhammad Ali. They'll stand out there on the block and talk all kind of jazz and beat you down. Beat you down and everything and go right back to the block. And say, I told you. Sit up there and say, I told you I was gonna do that to him. See, you just not used to listen. The caliber men have changed. That's all it is. That's why you don't expect nothing. You don't expect nothing because the caliber. That's the truth. The caliber men have changed, and you don't take nobody seriously. You listen. You don't take me seriously. I told you I was shooting guns since I was 15. I'm part Latino. Latinos, a lot of them are way more cutthroat than black people. They are. They are way more cutthroat than black people. I'm keeping it 100 with you. I mean, it is true. You know what I'm saying? But they doing all the killing here. Black people doing all the killing in America. You know what I'm saying? But when you really, you know what I mean, man. You know, come on. We go down to South America, Colombia, where all the cocaine comes from and all of that, man. You talking about hardcore cutthroats, man. I'm talking about on a whole nother level than the stuff we see here in America. See, I'm aware of the whole world. I base my mentality off the whole world. Where people in different countries will say, yeah, that's 100. Not that stuff you want when you sizing people up and you don't even know. I mean, a killer could be anybody. A killer can be anybody. That's why I live. That's why I make it. Unlike you, I don't underestimate nobody. I guess you thought I did. I know I don't. Because I talk like this. See, in America, you would think somebody talk like me. Oh, you know, I might be a bully. I'm not a bully. I don't like bullies. I'm not a bully, and I don't underestimate nobody. And how you know that? Because listen, I make sure I carry weapons with anybody. I check people the same way. I keep my same principles the same way. I pull a weapon out on you just like I pull a weapon out on anybody else. That's facts. That's facts. Let's get this understood. Now, you are infatuated with the culture. So you want to be bad against somebody like me. I'm not the one to be bad against. You understand? That's the difference between the streets and the internet. You want to be like that, right? I'm reasoning things from the streets perspective. You understand? From out there. I think like they do out there. And that's why I'm going to always have them on my side. Because they're going to look at principles. They're going to look at principles. They're going to look at you playing with me. And then when you got the smoke that you wanted, you didn't like it. You wasn't built for it. I'm built for this. I can do this every year. I can do this every single year for the next 30 years. Okay? You're not built like that. You won't be able to handle 10 more years of this. Considering the American culture and community is changing at the speed of light with this stuff. All this other crazy stuff. ICE and all this other stuff. I've been around thorough people. I've been around Latinos where they wife sold drugs. Heroin. Not cocaine, heroin. I done drank liquor with people that they wife was selling heroin and drugs. Right here in New York, buddy. I ain't been around just black people. I've been around Latinos and everything. Jamaicans and everything. Haitian, Jamaican. You got me sized up wrong, little buddy. That's what I'm saying. Listen to them white folks. They don't know nothing about me. And they gonna size you up goofy. I'm funny, but not goofy. And this is how you know. This, how I'm talking right now. If I ain't had none of this, then you can say that. I can say it about you because you ain't got none of this. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't, bro. I don't care what you heard about me. Now that you know me, listen, I don't care what you heard about me. I know you and who with you don't have the backbone and the competency to make it stick. Okay? And that's why you keep going and you circulating. You're it's like a plane that can't go to the airport. You keep circling until you can land. You can't land. Now you stuck up there in the air. You stuck up in the air trying to make it stick and it's not working. Now you looking like a sucker stuck in the air. Now you a sucker stuck in the air. That's what it is. And ain't no way you gonna manipulate me because I ain't got nothing to do with it. You see, that's why I play chess. I let you make a fool out of yourself and I'm gonna sit right here and talk about it. That's it. And ain't nobody can say, well, then you ain't gonna overanalyze me because I'm right. That's it. For one thing, street people ain't in the business of overanalyzing anybody. We gonna analyze deep enough to protect ourselves and save ourselves and making sure we in the right relationship with somebody. Other than that, even if that's relational, like a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, we gonna make sure we with the right person or we doing business with the right person. But just the matrix of that person's thought process, nah, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in every thought you think, because you know what? I'm gonna base who you are off what you do out here in the streets. That's not simple. That's not simple because that's the only thing that matters. Humanity and how you interact with humanity is all we care about. Make sense? I don't care about nothing that doesn't interact with humanity. That's what the cops is gonna tell you. That's what the government gonna tell you, and that's what street niggas gonna tell you. I don't care about nothing that does not interact with humanity. It's foolishness. You started a whole bunch of crap over foolishness that don't even interact with humanity. Now you looking like a dummy, a jerk, a prick, circling around the airport, but you can't land. I'm in the airport. Listen, I'm in the airport taking a dump. I'm in the airport taking a dump while you circling around and you can't land. Yeah. I'm sitting up there. I'm taking a dump. Yeah. You circling. You can't listen. You ain't comfortable. You don't know what's gonna happen to you. Because the weather getting bad up there while you circling around, ain't it? That's 7 hours. The weather getting bad while you circling around, ain't it? You got to go fly and go somewhere, don't you? Hey, that weather getting bad while you circling around, ain't it? You think it's a game? It's not. Your worst nightmare is coming true, buddy. Listen, how I feel is this. I don't feel sorry for you. You know why? Because, listen, if you play with anybody in New York, you stupid right there. You know why? Anybody here is built a certain way. I don't care if they from out of town or not. That's why they all come here. If you was a real New Yorker, you would know half of the people come here got something going on for them. They got something. They got a different strength than the average person from North Carolina. Something different about this person. I don't care about the rest of this. The person that come here is the best.
If they come to New York, they the best. Which means I already got some gifts and strength already from day one. That's why I came here. And I made it. I made it here. I made it in New York. I done worked in New York and everything. I'm not new to New York. That's why I talk junk like this. I'm not new here. It's just like marrying a woman. After a certain amount of time, now she's talking junk. That's how it is. I'm not new to New York. I'm not new to this. Like in the movie Leonardo DiCaprio, where he plays the Wolf of Wall Street. You remember the woman he was dating? When he first married her, she was nice and sweet. She had a little accent. Then she became a New Yorker. She had an attitude. She was sassy. She was talking back. She was 100. Leonardo DiCaprio played her husband. Leonardo DiCaprio, right? And so the woman that he was married to in The Wolf of Wall Street, that was based on a real story. When he first married her, she was nice and had an accent and everything. You know what I mean? After a while, man, she was 100. Living in New York. See, that's basically how I am. I done been now a certain amount of time, bro. I'm not taking nothing off nobody. That's the police. I'm a big dog. I can talk to the police. I stand off with the police if I need to. I'm talking about as far as beef. I'm a big dog, buddy. That's what the big dogs do. I ain't scared of no police. I sit there and look at the police, talk to them in their face, tell them about their own politics, tell them about stuff they got going on. Listen, buddy, I'm not one of them peewees out here. You another one, man. I'm just saying, you're sitting duck at these precincts. You got to watch them politics, little buddy. Yeah, where anybody can come in there and do anything to you. At face value, they could just walk in. What, you ain't got no metal detectors when they walk in. I'm just being 100 with you. It's just something for you to think about, man. Off the strength that I told you I'm part South American, man, I think you should look at me a little differently than these average bozos in Brooklyn. That's real. I'm sending money down to Colombia. I'm sending money to Jamaica. I just sent $38,000 to Jamaica. What you do? Man, stop playing with me, bro. That's what I'm saying. Stop playing with me. You way out of league playing with a man like me. You way out of league. And I know that. I also know that. I done send money to Jamaica. What you do? Oh, you say bum o'clock. But when you send some money to Jamaica? When have you sent money to the island of Jamaica? Man, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Stop playing with me, man. I mean, I'm not even trying to do this for that reason. I promise you I'm not doing it for that reason. Man, I done sent over $30,000 down there. No, I'm serious. Yeah. Because what you don't know, let me tell you something that you don't know, is when you send money out of the country, the USD is one of the most valuable currencies in the world, right? So when you send money to most average countries, they're going to get more out of that dollar that you send. You understand that, right? Okay, so when I sent money to Jamaica, I sent $30,000 down there. Because all what they're going to do is exchange it. They can't use it down there. But it's gold. Once they see American dollar, ooh, it's like gold. It used to be backed by gold. I know that. You're not dealing with a baby. It used to be backed by gold. It's not now. It's a legal tender. It's not backed by gold. But it's still valuable. To where you send it to Jamaica, I sent $30,000 down there. I sent $25,000 since I've been in this room in Brooklyn. Right after that storm happened, that hurricane down there, my money was on the way. I sent $25,000 down there. That's after the storm in Jamaica. I sent 25,000. What you send down for the storm? After the storm? Huh? But I'm the bummer clock. But I sent money to the Jamaicans. I sent $25,000 to the Jamaicans. Man, stop playing with me, bro. That's all I'm saying, buddy. Stay in your lane. I don't get my reputation for being a sucker, buddy. That's what's wrong with black people. You size people up too quick. That's your fault. That's your flaw right there. I let people be who they are. You know, you don't know why people are the way they are. But this guy still could be a threat. See, that's why I would survive with all different races of people. Hispanic, Latinos, the mob, Italians, and everything. I met somebody that worked for the mob. I met him in the West Coast. I met someone that worked for the mob. Hanging out with him one-on-one. That's how I'm built. You ain't never been around nobody for the mob, have you? Man, stop playing with me, bro. Listen, man, you disgust me, bro. You know what's wrong with a lot of you black people? I'm gonna tell you what's wrong with you. You put yourself in the vicinity of people that's above you, and you're arrogant. Arrogance don't mean you the man. Arrogance don't mean you that diva. You're not. But in your arrogance, you put yourself in the vicinity of people like me, and you don't deserve to be in the vicinity of me. No, you don't. What have you done to be in my vicinity? Oh, mind reading. You see how stupid it sounds to a man like me? Mind reading. Really? Can't be serious. You can't be. That's what I'm saying, man. You thought I know exactly how you had me sized up. You thought I was one of them little dudes. You thought I was one of them little delinquent dudes. Listen to hip hop, walking around all the time. But here's the part. Do you see me walking around all the time? No. You don't see me doing that. So how you gonna think I'm one of these dudes walking around all the time? You don't see me on no blocks. You don't see me walking and posted up like that. See, I'm going to tell you what your problem is. You're a sucker. You know why I know? Because your worst nightmare is that I'm real. You know why? Because you know you already know you're getting a bill. You're getting a bill if you know I'm real. And you're getting a bill. That's all. That's all I'm saying. That's why you hate it. You want to discredit me so bad for being real. Because if I'm fake, you think you can get away with it. Don't you? No, you can't. It's too late. I already know. But what you don't realize, I'm telling you what you don't realize. You don't listen. You all out of your lane playing with me, buddy. Yes. I've been around a mob figure. I've been around military Marine. I've been around a Marine. You understand me? It don't get no realer than that. In the world we live in, it don't get no realer. And you know what? You're a cartoon, bro. You know how I know? We can talk about all this real stuff and you act like it don't mean nothing. It's all that it means to people. This is all that it is. If you're one of them people that think it's more to life, there's nothing more. There's nothing more. All this is, you go country to country, state to state, you stay in the States, you go state to state, this is all it is. It ain't gonna be nothing else colorful. You gotta tell us psychological, spiritual, these little telepaths from psychic people. There's nothing else out there. See, in the middle of you being this spiritual kind of character, you think you're gonna find this colorful boss or something, some dark, colorful boss out there somewhere. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, bro. You're gonna have people that talk just like me, bro. That's it. That's all that's out there. The only difference is what people are amazed at and what they're gawking at. Yeah, it's gawking. It's gawking. It's not polite to gawk or stare, right? Even mentally, it's not polite to gawk at people. You still looking as mentally. I don't know what you're looking at. I don't know what you're looking at because you're in trouble. The police can't save you. The feds can't save you. Nobody can't save you. I told you to go get my money. I told you that. You took me for a joke. You took me. Listen. I'm gonna let you think that. That's me being a soldier. You know what a soldier gonna do? You know the difference between a gangster and a soldier? This is why soldiers will live longer than gangsters. A soldier will let you think everything that you want to think about him or her. And what they're going to do, they're going to utilize all of that, what you think, against you, to where you're not even aware of the danger that you're in. A gangster has to let you know that he's 100, that he's this, he or she is this or that. They gotta do it. They don't have the discipline to say, you know what, I'm gonna let them suckers think whatever they want to think. And if I want to get them, I'm gonna catch them off guard, blindside them off guard. They ain't gonna know what hit them. They ain't gonna know what hit them because you had me sized up as okie doke. I'm smarter than your daddy. I'm smarter than your mama now. And listen, I know that. It's not an empty insult. It's true. It's not an empty insult. I can show you information I know your whole family didn't know nothing about concerning America. I know you didn't know. Your mama them didn't know. Your grandmama didn't know. None of your family didn't know. And imagine if you getting respect from the military. That's what I'm talking about. That's when we end all this street ghetto foolishness. When I start getting respect from the military. Okay, you can't doubt me after that. You can't. Listen, you retarded if you doubt me. After I've lived with military. Who are you? You're nobody. You're just a mind reader. We don't care. Okay? I know that. That's how smart I am. I know what you are. All you are is a whole bunch of mind readers. I don't care about that. You know what I care about? I care about real life that's about to swallow you whole. This World War III is about to swallow you whole while you sitting there reading people's minds. We don't care nothing. That's what I'm saying. We don't care nothing about that. You on the outside of this whole situation. I'm in this situation. I got my alliances. I'm connected to the Russians. I'm connected to the Russians as a friend and an ally, right? Not in the not spying against America. I don't need to do that. Me personally, I don't. I'm with the Russians. What you thought I was gonna do? A man of my caliber. These Americans wanted to oppose me, right? You know what I decided to do? I decided to join your worst enemies. That's what I did. Yeah. I decided to join your worst enemies. 6 years ago, 7 years ago, this year. I decided to join your worst enemies almost 7 years ago. It's too late, buddy. I've been talking to the Russians. They know everything about your laws of marrying children in America. While you play with my integrity, the Russians know that you marry children. Oh, I've informed beautiful Russian women all about you marrying these children. You know what I got when I posted that? Wow emojis from the Russian women. Wow emojis. Wow emojis. Wow emojis. I've informed the Russians about everything about you marrying children. That's not spying. Spying is releasing unclassified information. That's how I look at it. Because everything else is released to the public. I mean, if I just let the Russians know something that's public information, how is that spying? They have access to the same information. I got my alliances for World War III. China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, and Lebanon. Those are my 5 alliances for World War III. I'm solid on mine, buddy. And when I say I'm alliance, I keep it 100, just like the streets. Russia, China, Iran, Lebanon, and North Korea. See, while you was playing games, I was growing as a man. You understand? While you stayed a boy, I became a man in the real world. I went and joined China, Russia, Iran, Lebanon, and North Korea. Yeah, what you thought I was going to sit here and let these people play with me? That's what I'm saying. Now you see I'm not such a boy that's being picked on. I don't care nothing about that foolishness out there. You about to be swallowed up with World War III. Oh, you think it's a game? That all Americans are going to think that. You know why you're going to think that? I'm going to tell you why you're going to think that. Because you're so used to America saving you out of all the stuff you do and go through. All the mess you even made with me, you looking for America to help you out of it, ain't you? You looking for them to get you out. You ain't going to get out. It's too late. Guess what? You should also be informed. You should also be informed that I also went to the UN, the United Nations, about all these games y'all playing in these facilities and everything that you're doing. Yeah. I let the UN know. Listen, I filed an official complaint against the United States. You didn't know that. You didn't know that. Now, ain't that funny you didn't know that, but they know everything else. That's why you know you're dealing with clowns. Oh, they didn't tell you I went to the UN. They didn't tell you that I filed an official complaint with the number for the complaint. I got the number with the complaint and everything. So I can go back to that page, the official UN page, put in the number, the whole complaint gonna come up. Oh, they didn't tell you I went to the UN. I did it in May. I did it in May. I went to the UN in May. I didn't get any ideas from these superstars. I didn't get no ideas from them. I went and did it on my own. If anything, I was influenced by Malcolm X, who went to the UN concerning the conditions of how black people were treated here in America. Malcolm X was ahead of Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. his daddy was Freemason. He wasn't nothing but old Freemason. That's why he's sitting up here thinking he can be like Gandhi in America. How you gonna be like Gandhi in America? It worked for his community. It didn't work for America. You can't be like Gandhi in America with practicing non-violence and everything. You can't be like that here with these racist white people. It didn't work. It didn't work. He still died. He chose to get all these That's what a Freemason gonna do. A Freemason gonna choose all these informations from around the world and try to apply it to America. That ain't work. No. You gotta go to the UN and don't even talk to these people. When they against you, all the way through the government, through the police, through the feds and everything, and black community and all these people against us, are we going to the UN? That's right. I'm not playing no games with these people. You should have knew that. You should have knew I wasn't gonna sit here and play these games with these folks. No, I'm not. I went to the UN. I didn't get that. And I'm just keeping 100. I didn't get no idea from Nicki Minaj going to the UN. I had already done it. I did it before she even thought about doing that. Because nothing wasn't even going on when I did that. Okay, I learned from Malcolm X. That's where I got it from. I didn't get it from Nicki Minaj. I got this from Malcolm X. I went to the UN. That's what Malcolm X did. He was smart enough to not sit here. If he see all his enemies over here, who you gonna go to over here? That's really gonna have your back. Nobody. You can't go to nobody over here. You gotta go outside the country. And your best bet when you go outside the country is to go to the UN, because they're gonna bring light to it to everybody. So I already did that. I went to the UN back in the spring of last year. I already did it. So you might have some little friends out there, buddy. For all my little low-level friends, you might want to be aware of that. I've already went to the UN. I told them I told them everything. I told them all about the Freemasons. I told them all about how the Freemasons and the police and everybody following people around, playing games with people, psychological games and everything. I told them about the Illuminati, and I told them all about them two groups right there. I told them all about what they're doing all over America. Checkmate, buddy. I went to the UN on you. What you thought I was going to do? Oh, stick to a G code. A G code with lames? I don't do. I don't stick to G codes with suckers. Because I feel like you need to get off the streets anyway and go get corrected in some jailhouse facility so you can see the difference between the real and the fake. You need to go there. You need correction. You think you a bum. You think you a thug. How we know you a bum? Because if you were such a thug, you'd be out here strong arming getting money. You a thug, but you ain't getting no money. Make that make sense. If you was a thug, you'll be getting money. You will be strong arming, getting money. That's what thugs do. So we don't take you for the thug type. Me, listen, I can explain everything about me, buddy. I'm sending money down to Jamaica. Listen, I'm improvising like a thug. Because the thug life ain't nothing but improvising anyway. It's being excluded from the American community and dream, and the thug is taking and improvising and getting and using drugs to improvise and get rich. That's all it is improvising. I'm doing the same thing. I'm improvising too. Thug life is all about improvising. Once you get a business, you ain't gonna be thug life no more. Thug life is all about improvising. That's all it's about. That's what the lames don't understand. They ain't even gotta improvise. So why you thug life? Make it make sense. You in the suburbs, why are you thug life and you don't have to improvise? It don't make sense. I'm improvising spiritually. Over here sending money to South America. And this war is escalating as a result. Why people think it's funny how I'm doing it, I'm doing nothing but what thug life do. We improvise. I'm taking whatever money I got and wherever it come from, that's improvising. I'm improvising, making it turn to millions. Who ain't gonna respect that? Who ain't gonna respect the fact that you take any type of money you get from these people and you flip it around and send it to South America and make it $1 million? Who ain't gonna respect that? That's what I'm saying. You a sucker, man. Because it's all about improvising. Go back to anybody that's talking to you. All they gonna talk about is improvising. Okay, you can't break me. You ain't gonna make this not the truth. You a jealous, envious person. See, that's another thing. When you deal with jealousy and envy, you can't fix a person that's jealous. Because when they find you to be real, they jealous. It's no fixing a person like that. That's the worst mental defect to have. You jealous. I ain't never been jealous of nobody. I ain't never been jealous. I ain't never been an envious or jealous person of no one. No matter what they got. I stick to whatever the problem really is, and that's that. And I'll clarify, whatever they have, I'm not jealous of that. Whatever it is, I'm not jealous of it. I'm talking about something else. I'm talking about something else. You should have never brought me into a situation like this. I'm telling you right now, you a clown. That's why you got Maduro here in Brooklyn. It's not a game. You think that's a coincidence, don't you? I just happen to be here, and a South American president is now here in Brooklyn. You know what? Also, America is ashamed of that. Oh yeah, they're ashamed of it. You know why? Because listen, there's too many Latinos here that ain't feeling that. Nah, they ain't feeling that. I know they not. No, they ain't feeling that. You dragged him here like a slave, like how you used to do us as black people. You dragged him here as a slave, and you can't tell me all those efforts had something to do with just drugs. No, man. You think I'm stupid. That's you That's the hate. That's how much hate you got for Latinos right now. That's what the expression of that is. That's what it is. And that's exactly what it is. I can take. Listen, I don't fold. I can take whatever you throw at me, buddy. I know who I am, and I know. Listen, buddy, I'm willing to die for this. I'm willing to go all the way. Unlike you, I'm willing to go all the way with this one. See, Sun Tzu taught in the Art of War, if you are not afraid of death, nothing is impossible. It's only when people get afraid of these people, it's only when people get afraid of these people that they lose. They fold and become slaves. That's what happened to most of these people. They fold and become slaves out of fear. Listen, it ain't because you form alliance and you love this country. You folded really out of fear. That's what it was. We got them. We got them good. They in trouble, buddy. America right now is rogue. America is rogue right now. If you don't know, America's rogue. And that's how we need them to be, because it's going to escalate. Everybody at the UN talking about it. See, in the news, they didn't even put that in the news. It was too much against America. That's why you can't depend on one news outlet or a national news outlet. You got to go outside the country to get the real news, because their news is biased. They had an emergency meeting at the UN, and you can't even find proper coverage where that's really sticking out. When that happened, I checked the news almost once an hour, right, to see what's going on. I didn't see anything when that happened about an emergency UN meeting because of the Americans bringing Maduro here to America. Okay, I ain't see the CNN say nothing about it. I ain't see MSNBC talk. I ain't see none of them news outlets, American news outlets, talk about it. They might got something on it, I'm saying, but I ain't see it stick out. Come on now, that's just all my intelligence. That's supposed to stick out. I had to find that from a news outlet outside the country. Yeah, ain't nobody playing no games. You don't anger me for free. You don't anger me for free, buddy. I'm gonna teach you and black people with you. You play with me, buddy. Listen, I'm gonna spank you. It's tit for tat, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, life for a life. I don't care if you black. So what? I don't care about that. You so used to hiding behind being black. That when you thought it was going to apply here, it don't apply here. You know why? Because I'm black too. It don't apply. If we both black, how does it apply? Oh, I get it. I'm supposed to be the sellout. How? Tell me how I'm a sellout. You can't make it make sense, can you? No, I don't deal with foolish people. As a righteous man, no, I don't. Okay, so explain to me how I'm a sellout. Talk about it intelligently. I can talk about it intelligently. How you a sellout? Listen, you doing worse than a sellout, killing children, black children, and killing black people. You know what's worse than a sellout? People who kill black children. You worse than a sellout. All these black people done kill black children and black people. That's worse than a sellout. What's worse than a sellout? People who kill black people. Don't ever talk to me about no Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom, let me tell you something about Uncle Tom. I know about Uncle Tom Cabin, that book, and all of that stuff. I'm old school, buddy. Uncle Tom in America don't exist no more. Uncle Tom, the real Uncle Tom, not somebody who will tell you the truth about your punk self. The real Uncle Tom is living his best life with white America. The real Uncle Tom left black people in the 90s when the crack came out. Uncle Tom been left the hood. And guess what? Uncle Tom been done talking. Why? He won. Okay, well, Uncle Tom just gonna point to all the killing, like even us, how we do. Uncle Tom gonna say they doing all the killing, all that funkiness out there. Look at all that stuff. And what can you say? Ain't nothing you can say. It's too much of it. It's too rampant. Uncle Tom has won. Uncle Tom don't even got to argue no more. So anybody you hear talking is not an Uncle Tom, because Uncle Tom won. What he got to talk about? What Uncle Tom gonna talk about? Huh? He won. That's how bad it is. See, you didn't listen. You didn't think all this killing would bring any repercussions, did you? You little silly rabbit. You little silly rabbit. You know the biggest repercussion you got? Uncle Tom won. Because now all he got to do is go and hang out with white America. And guess what? Low key, with understood hidden language, they gonna understand why he don't deal with black people. He just got to get around them and just, it's this quiet language that they got among each other where they understand. They look at the news, they all watch the news, they kind of just got this quiet language like, well, see what I'm talking about? All Uncle Tom gonna do is drink Chardonnay in the backyard with his white friends and say, see, that's what I'm talking about. He over there with them living his best life. And low key, you want to be over there with the white folks too and get away from all these ignorant folks. You want to go over there and drink some Chardonnay with the white folks. Oh, come on, keep it 100. Keep it 100. You want to go drink Chardonnay with the white folks in the backyard, don't you? Keep it 100. You want to get away from ignorant black people. Keep it real. It's done got so bad that you don't even want to deal with your own people. Keep it 100. Oh, that's part of it. That's part of it. We can't stand each other. It wouldn't be the truth without acknowledging that. Oh man, come on, man. It ain't all no love like that, man. We can't stand each other. We hate the unprofessionalism of each other. I can't stand unprofessionalism. I can't stand it because there's no excuse for it. And for me, you should have your own value system as a black person to beat the Americans. To beat them, you have to prove you're not just 2/3 of a human being. They labeled us as 2/3 of a human. Literally, they were serious. They looked at us and looked at our features and looked at us like we was animals, like we not even fully human. So a person that understands history of America and these people, your own individual war would be to prove you're a full human being, competent, professional. That's your own self-respect. It's your own war that you have to fight here in America. And you got to fight your own battle. I can't fight it for you, and nobody else can fight it for you. You can't fight mine. I fight for my own competency in my own life, concerning all my life and what I've been doing. You got to fight for your competency. Because soon as you act like that, listen, white Americans going to say, see what I'm talking about? See how they doing that profit in that building? That's what we're talking about. That's like animals. That's 2/3 of a human being, and I win. Because listen, white America gonna say, see, that's not even a human being to me. You explain it what it is. We know what thugs are and gangsters. Explain that. Where you don't even look like a full human being. So I understand the game, right? As a black man, I have to prove competency over all these other people. When they can look bugged out, they can look bugged out and crazy. But me as a black man, I'm not given that same benefit of the doubt. I have to prove that I am not 2/3 of a human being. See, if you was truly black, that would be one of your foundational fights. Not fighting white America per se. Fighting to show your own level of competency and professionalism and morality, because what makes them think you're 2/3 of a human being is your lack of humanity, your lack of morality. An animal don't have no morality. An animal just eats another animal. A wolf don't say, well, I'm gonna just spare that bunny, that plump bunny over there. I'm gonna just spare that plump bunny over there. The wolf ain't gonna say that, right? The wolf don't have no sense of humanity. The wolf is just gonna go over there and do what a wolf do. It's gonna eat the bunny without even thinking about it. A human is more sophisticated to where we live and let live, right? That's what makes us more sophisticated in the animal kingdom. But if you show no signs of morality, you can't even get these Americans to think you're a full human being. You would care. I would. You should care. That's the fight you should be fighting. Not to try to get money in their face, because they still could think you're an animal with money, and you still 2/3 of a human being. They can say, we finally got paychecks for animals, don't we? Look how the world done came. Look how far we done came into humanity. Now we paying animals. Man. We're now paying animals now. So the real sophisticated black man understand, I must win this war. I must show that I am more than 2/3 of a human being. Oh, guess what? There's another part of that war that you didn't realize. Monogamy. It's like a bad word, ain't it? Monogamy. Being monogamous. Because an animal can't be with one partner, now can it? Let's don't be too technical. An animal don't get into marriage with one animal, do it? It has sex with multiple animals. So if you don't practice monogamy, they feel like you ain't in the human kingdom. Like you just have sex with everybody. Like you're 2/3 of a human being and you can't be monogamous in one relationship. That's 7 out. So you have to show that you're not 2/3 of a human being having sex with everybody like an animal. See, you got to know how these people think, and they be dead serious. That's what trip you out the most. They be dead serious though. They really believe that you ain't really fully a human being. They think you 2/3 of a human being. So guess what they gonna do? They gonna say, see, look, they can't even be in one relationship with one person. They gotta go think about another man. Like an animal. Like an animal would be thinking about other men and having sex with other men. They esteem you as 2/3 of a human being, not capable of functioning properly in a monogamous relationship. It gets deep, don't it? Oh yeah, it does. Oh yeah, you slanging penis everywhere. You're not monogamous. They don't consider you a player. They consider you 2/3 of a human being just having sex with everybody. Like you can't comprehend to have one treasured person to have a meaningful relationship with. Like you're not capable of understanding how special that could be. Just having all these children all around the world like an animal. You see why they think this? That's what I'm trying to show you. You have to prove competency to really beat these people. That's why they couldn't stand Barack Obama, because Barack Obama won in his personal life, not just for black people. No, hold up. He won for himself. He won for himself in his own personal battle that we all got. You got yours, he got his. He won proving he's not 2/3 of a human being able to run this whole country. White people couldn't believe it because they go by the stereotypes that's on TV. So they finally see a black man competent, able to run the country. They couldn't believe it. It destroyed the whole theory that the black man is 2/3 of a human being. Well, how this man is 2/3 of a human being and he running the country? You see what I'm saying? It humanized the black man. If you don't think nothing came out of Barack Obama being the president, it was 100% perfect for race relations. For some white people who literally think this stuff, that you're half ape, you're 2/3 of a human being, you can't have a relationship with one person, you can't be monogamous. That's a word you need in your terminology. Monogamy. Monogamous. Get your vocabulary up. Get your vocabulary up. You can explain it. You can explain the same thing, but you learn terms to show these people that you're competent. Oh, they know I'm competent. Oh, I say monogamy. Listen, buddy, you know I ain't no dummy. Come on, man. Listen. Some of y'all don't understand what the game is. That's why I trip off of you. You think you're being cool in the culture, man. You look like 2/3 of a human being. When you're a part of that American culture, the black culture and all of that, all this stuff going on, listen, buddy, you looking like 2/3 of a human being over there. Girls, women all out there in front of all these dudes, they look like a pack of animals. That's what they thinking. You can't win the wars like that. You can't win your main individual war like that. You can't do it. You got to know how these people see you. You know how they see you? 2/3 of a human being. That's how they see you. They're never going to give you the full competency. And see, this is what I've explained before. We, black people, never made an America. And all the competency that we got, we think we got over the white man. We never made no America. Where we did it. White man made this. You can't say he's incompetent. He might not have a big penis, but in his brain, he is competent. So what you rather have? But let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. What you rather be? Endowed sexually, or be competent enough to build an America and don't gotta worry about nobody in your way? What would you do? Would you trade in your penis for money? Would you trade in your penis to have a nice house and a nice life and be away from trouble and drama and be ready for World War III? We just in the hood, you a sitting duck. The Native Americans got the reservation land. They can die with their last. They can take their last stand with honor. You're gonna be running around in the hood like roaches. We don't have nothing. The Chinese can die in the Chinatown. They can die with honor. Okay, it's all about you're gonna die anyway. Everybody gonna die. It's all about how you die. And see, a sucker can't understand that. That's why we build legacies. That's why men spend their whole life building legacies. Because you're gonna die. And what people gonna remember you for? Being a chump. Playing games with people, psychological games. A chump. And you trying to make it stick, and now you realize what life consists of. You know, it ain't nothing else to it. That's what men do. We get married, we have kids, we die. That's it. We make money, we live. There's nothing else to it. See, it's these Star Wars, Luke Skywalker type of people that think something is more to life than this. It's nothing more. But spirituality is the foundation of what life is all about. But between spirituality and the practical things of life, that's about it. And see, that puts the lame in his proper lane. All around, jumping around, bouncing around. But we don't see you making this work. We don't see you making it make sense. So all the mind reading, but it don't make sense in the real world. Well, I mean, what does it do? What purpose does it serve? None. That's what we're talking about, buddy. It don't serve no purpose. You think it does. It don't. You know what it does? All it does is anger the community. That's all it's doing. That's all it's doing. You should have stayed in your lane. You should have stayed underground. If you knew it was what good for you, you should have stayed underground. If you know you can, if you know you like an X-Man or something, you should have stayed underground, buddy. You came out here like a proud turkey for me, didn't you? And played yourself, and now people want something like you out of our community. That's all I'm saying. You should. At first, you was underground. You should have stayed that way. That's how you should have stayed. Because see, in my spirituality, I'm not an X-Man. No, because you know why? Because I got a balance. I talk about real life. I talk about the real world. So they gonna see the prophet as different than you. Me and you ain't the same. That's why I try to tell you. Now you out there looking like an alien by yourself. Because you can't tell me how you can be incorporated into our community. You can try to make yourself a service. No, that's not how it works. Because what you do is a violation. It's like mind rape, raping the minds of the community. Nobody don't want that in our community. Where you raping the minds of people, that's mind rape. It's esteemed as mind rape. A mind is all a man has. Think about somebody violate your mind and that's all you got. You don't got no money. You ain't got no really nothing. But all you got is your mind. And somebody playing with that. That's death, man. Ain't nobody gonna want you to live after that. No. We stand cool and collected about it. But we don't want you to live after that. No. Yeah, that's mind rape. That's how we look at it. Now, for a prophet, if you look in the Bible, if you're educated on the Bible, the prophet was always appealed to the government. The government always found the prophet as attractive because of our levels of insight and wisdom and spirituality that was effective for the community, the tangible community. Your spirituality is not that effective. You're trying to make it effective. It's not. My spirituality is effective in the community where I use wisdom. I can talk about Trump. I can talk about all this stuff. I can talk about these white folks, how they see us as 2/3 of a human being. What you talk about? What you talking about? See, you're interested in my conversation. We're not interested in your conversation. That's what I want you to take time and think about. Because the government always messed with us. They always had love for a prophet. Because God gonna show them who I am. God is gonna let them see things about me that you're not smart enough to see. They ain't never thought me to be no alien. Let's get that understood. That's because I talk about the real world too much. You can't classify no prophet as no alien, little buddy. That's cornballs. That's corny people. I talk too much about real life. Now, the world in the Bible, notice that the prophet had real spirituality and they reverenced God. They realized, hear this part, they realized God was real. They didn't look at him like he was an alien. No, they realized the God of Daniel was real. Go look in the Bible where Daniel survived being thrown in the lion's den. He survived it, right? That's spirituality. When the leader seen that he survived it, he said the God of Daniel is to be praised. And I'm paraphrasing, to be praised, he's real. He didn't think, oh, Daniel's an alien. No, he didn't think that. He thought that Daniel served a real God. And that's what they think about me. Okay? You, on the other hand, you're the closest thing to an alien in our community. Well, look at it for what it is. A human don't move like that. A human don't have this kind of behavior. Where you just moving around people's head and minds and all that. No. Ain't no human being doing that. People that work witchcraft and psychic power, you move like you the closest thing to an alien. Look at a human don't behave like that. No, it does not. No, it don't. You thought you was being spiritual. I'm spiritual. I'm spiritual. Where I showed the whole country y'all married children. That's spiritual. That's being able to see something no one else sees. Right, that's spirituality. You are connected to the satanic kingdom, which most high-ranking people that's spiritual can say the satanic kingdom acts and moves as if it's an alien community. Demons move like aliens. This whole satanic kingdom moves like an alien. They move and behave like aliens. What we perceive to be aliens, or the projections of what we see as aliens. They the closest thing that they move like that. The satanic kingdom. That's why you moving like you moving. because you're connected to the satanic kingdom. Okay? We call it divination. Psychic power, telepathic power. That's all divination. Divination, not divine, not divinity. Divination and divinity is two opposites. Okay? I don't move like no X-Man. See, that's why the government be looking at people like y'all. Start acting like an alien, and all of a sudden now you can't get the government off your back. Well, hey, now they're interested in what's going on. These people that's not acting like human. You can't say that's me. I show real anger for this community. I talk about real countries in the real world. Russia, China. I talk about real life. I don't have anything to hide. I'm not like you. I don't move like an alien, buddy. I have high level of spirituality, which the real people in the real world that are not aliens like them people, you gonna esteem me just as the leader of Babylon esteemed Daniel. He esteemed Daniel. He esteemed Daniel as a servant of the real God. How could this stuff happen? He didn't say, "Oh, he's an alien." No, he didn't say that. He didn't say, "Oh, he's an alien." He perceived that the God he served was real. Because even the alien couldn't get out of that, buddy. You in the lion's den with lions. And no alien is getting out of that. I bet you they won't. I bet you an alien wouldn't, buddy. An alien would be devoured. Probably a little quicker. Something that smells different. Don't smell like a human. That probably get devoured quicker, buddy. See, that's how you played yourself. Now there's people that's looking at you like you're an alien. Trying to be all, see, that's what I call it. See, trying to be all spiritual. Now you out here esteemed as an alien. Like what I call space cowboys. Space cowboys. Woohoo! Look what I can do! Woohoo! Woohoo! Now, yeah, that part, the played yourself. Now they looking at you like you're an alien. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, think about it. And then when I'm talking about, you ain't really got nothing to say. Really, you ain't got no real solutions. So do we really esteem the information you have as your own? Or it's not really originating at you. You don't have any original information. But we do know you got all this mind reading ability. But you ain't got no original information. See, that's what I'm saying. That's lacking, ain't it? Okay, how you way spiritual, but you don't got no real information to help the community. Oh, well, you didn't know about child marriage. We know you didn't know about that. Okay, so why you ain't know about it? Let's slow down right here. All these telepaths, why you didn't know about child marriage? You can read minds. You can read minds. We got it. We get it, right? But why you didn't know about child marriage laws? All these psychics, you knew you can read. You got psychic power. Why wasn't you a psychic about this child marriage laws? Explain it. Explain it intelligently. I'm differentiating myself from you. Now, the prophet, the one who calls himself a prophet, he the one revealed it. While you've been here all this time and all these years, but you didn't reveal this information, did you? No, you did not. No, you did not, little buddy. You didn't. And that's why I doubt you. Because, listen, this is how we know you're connected to the satanic kingdom. Because when it comes to spirituality, if you was connected to God, you in a situation that matters, you would be revealing the truth like I did. God doesn't come and sit into a situation and then don't tell us what we need to know about the situation. How you know I'm connected to God is because when this situation came up about these children, the prophet revealed y'all was marrying children. See, boy, you don't see that. You don't see it, do you? What you was talking about? Floating around somebody's head. That's all you're doing. We don't got no love for that. Now you see why I don't, though. Now you see why I don't. It's not just, oh, I don't like them. Nah, bro. No, it's not that. It's because you serve no good purpose. And you tried to do it. You tried to make it work and it don't work. And you know why? Because God designed the universe and humanity, and somebody that's outside of that design is not gonna fit. I do fit. When I'm credible in so many ways in the real world, but you're not. You're not credible. You're not of use in our world. You tried to make yourself of use. It don't work. And then what people gonna think about is what I said. Okay, they say they psychics. How come? Well, they can do all this stuff, but they didn't know about child marriage laws in our country. Make it make sense. You out here knowing, you talking about you know what you know, and you know what you know, but why you didn't know what you knew about America? Why you didn't know what you know about them? You can't tell me why. I can tell you why. Because the prophet outranks you. I am higher ranking than you. And you can read minds all day, but you know how I proved I'm greater than you? I revealed your country married children, and you didn't reveal it. You did not expose it. God reveals it, how I like to put it, and I expose it. You didn't do that, did you? But okay, come on, listen, stop playing with me, bro. You a joke, okay? You listen. How you gonna read minds and don't know America marrying children? But you can read minds. You can read things, but you didn't find that out, did you? Come on, stop playing with me, buddy. I proved I'm more spiritual than you. Because when it came show and tell about this situation with these children, you did not have credible information. I did have credible information. I do have credible information. You still don't. And that's how you know I am more spiritual than you. And you can do all that mind reading stuff, but this is how we prove who's most spiritual. Who is a center as something that is centered? Who is a center for humanity? A center for humanity is someone that will nourish humanity, inform humanity, heal and help humanity. You don't do that. No, you don't. Not how we know? Because when situations are specific, you don't align with the perfect need at that time as a center. A center would know exactly what is needed at the time. When the time came, I'm a center. I nourish humanity. I inform humanity. I can't help it. It's because I am high ranking. So a high ranking human is going to inform all humanity of what is and what is not. If you was a center, you would have revealed what was necessary at the time, which is what people needed to know, is that this country is marrying children. Oh, we didn't need to know that? Why people talking about pedophiles? Oh, but when you was part of it, didn't you? Man, you were, listen, you pathetic. Listen, the prophet is the one that showed everybody what needed to be known at the time that it needed to be known. It needed to be known at the time. I didn't have to fake it. I didn't have to have fake spirituality. I pulled up with what we needed to know at the time we needed to know it. You didn't do that. You sat back like Space Cowboy. Woo-hoo, woo, look what I can do. Clown, bruh. I am a center. I nourish humanity. God makes centers, people who are a center, that are centered to nourish and inform humanity. This is how this works. This is why God will make people see me for who I am. No matter what you talk about, no matter what you're doing, I'm going to be seen for who I am. You are not a center. If you was high ranking, you would be utilized for humanity. You can't help it. Because the higher ranking you become, God is going to utilize you for the humanity. Ain't no way in the world you could be high ranking and you're not helping humanity. You're not informing humanity. You're not a nourishing person of humanity. You don't nourish humanity. No, it don't work like that. This is how we find out truly who is most spiritual. You played yourself. You got a little bit of spirituality and thought that meant you was way up here. But no, if you were way up there, you would be nourishing and informing and protecting humanity. It's no way in the world, I'm telling you, you would be spiritual, high ranking as me, but you're just over there on the side. That's foolishness, buddy. Listen, let me tell you what it was. You got a little spiritual gift and you thought that meant you was everything. Until you realize what everything meant or what it consists of. You know what it means to be everything, so to speak? You have to do everything, and you didn't do everything. You was not able to do things in the proper time frame that we did it. Okay? You sat back and read people, but you didn't read your own country. You didn't read the Americans. You didn't know what they was doing. So are you gonna give full credit to some people that didn't know what the Americans were doing? That's foolishness, man. That's why we beat everybody with this information. That's what I'm trying. They think it's a game. This information defeated everybody. Even you. Oh, you read minds. Well, why you didn't know about child marriage? Why you didn't know the country was? Why you didn't know their real reality? Why didn't their real reality come to you like it came to me? Huh? It came to me. However you want to look at it. It came to me. Why it didn't come to you? If you're so spiritual, why didn't this information come to you? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So then it's about what do we esteem as really spiritual? These little gifts to read minds, or someone that reveals things that no one knew. For whatever reason, the whole community didn't know. But the only one that revealed it was this prophet. That's how it needs to hit, buddy, because that's how it was. I'm the one that revealed it. You didn't reveal this. You were sitting back just as stupid as the other Americans. Sitting up thinking you know stuff that you don't know nothing about. You didn't even know your country was marrying children and having sex with animals. Yeah, y'all was having sex with animals in Hawaii. Hawaii had laws to have sex with animals. You had 4 states in America that allowed sex with animals. Did you know that? Okay, so when the time came when people started talking about animals and sex, why didn't you know this? And the prophet is the one that revealed it. This is 2 times. This is 2 times. That didn't happen in one day. This is 2 different occasions where God showed me that your country was having sex with animals. By law. By law. You didn't know, did you? Come on, man. Stop playing with me, bro. You can't fake this level, buddy. You can't fake levels like this. You can't fake it. This is real spirituality. And see, this is how we know what people treasure. Nobody don't treasure that mind reading foolishness. In fact, we think it's a violation to our mind. Yeah, that's a violation, actually. Actually. We don't respect that. That's how you know it's the satanic kingdom. Because we feel it's a violation. Oh, how it's a divine gift, but humans feel it's a violation. It sounds satanic. It feels satanic. It is satanic. It's a violation. That's what the satanic kingdom gonna do. They're gonna violate you. It's gonna feel like a violation. What I'm telling you, it ain't gonna feel like no violation. You're gonna be glad and grateful for this information. Are you glad and grateful for these people? They cause hell. That's how you know it's the satanic kingdom too. No pun intended. They cause hell. How is it a divine gift and you causing hell? Make it make sense, bruh. You just not used to somebody who really is spiritual. Spirituality, if you look in the Bible, does not just come with just spirituality. It comes with information and wisdom and insight. It's not just spirituality. Jesus didn't just have spirituality. Jesus was speaking a language above all humans. Because Jesus is the top center to nourish humanity, to protect humanity. How did he protect us? Through offering himself on the cross. He protected us from hell. He saved us. That's the protector. He's the ultimate center for humanity. So Jesus shows us, Jesus wasn't just sitting there being spiritual. He was talking. He was talking to the people. If you think you're so spiritual, you are not if you do not communicate your level. I communicate my level. In levels you wasn't on. We proved that. Okay, well, why you didn't know this information? Okay, so when I communicate this information, you're not on this level. You didn't communicate this level, did you? Okay, so you cannot claim to be on my level. It's already settled. I don't care about none of them theatrics. I call them spiritual acrobats. I don't care nothing about it. It doesn't do anything. That spirituality that you got does nothing in the real world. You tried to make it fit. That's what the prophet knows. It did not work. And I just sat back casually and let everybody think what they want to think. And when the smoke cleared, I'm still here. I'm still on top. I weathered everything you did. You gave it your best shot. And in real spirituality, let God let me go through it to prove that his kingdom is greater than all kingdoms. All kingdoms. America and everybody with them. This kingdom is above all kingdoms. It's above African American kingdoms. Black is not God. God is God. African ain't no God. African can't even save other Africans out the hood. If you was God, then why you can't save other Africans? Stop playing with me, man. You a God, but can't save other people. And back to the white man. The white man showed competency to build an America. You did not, as African Americans. You never built no America. If you were so competent, you would have went somewhere in the world and did it. You didn't do it. You know, listen, you did not build an America. The white man made all of this. You helped build it, but you was not the architects. You was not the architects of America. No, you wasn't. No, you wasn't. The architects of America was white Americans. I'm keeping it 100. They built every street. Listen, let's go through it. They built every street. They built every subway. They made all the measurements. They made all the boulevards in New York City. They built every borough. They named it and everything. They did not have your help being the architects. You helped with the materials, the resources. You brought in the resources and put the resources in the Lego pieces in the right Lego spot. That's all you did. You put the Lego pieces in the right Lego spot. That's it. They built the Legos and everything and what the Lego's supposed to be. All you did is just put it right there where you wanted you to put. You didn't even know what you were doing. Let's put it like this. You didn't even know what it was coming to be. You didn't know what it was going to look like. He knew what it was going to look like. He the one made the whole architecture. This is why they're so protective of America. I don't try to rule America. I don't make the mistakes of other black people. This is theirs by ownership. They have ownership over the architecture here. They were the original architects. The Native Americans were here first. But what we call America and what we enjoy, the Native Americans did not build that. The white Americans built that. Okay? Now, you brought in wood and steel and iron and put it in its place like a Lego piece. You did that, but you did not build the design of what it is. We built this country. No, but you were not the architects. You were not the architects of this country, and that's what you're insinuating. You were not. There's a difference between at a construction site, the person that is the architect and the workers, the construction workers. The construction workers are only putting the Lego pieces where it's supposed to go. You ain't the guy in the back waiting for it to be built. That's not you. That never has been you. That's been white America. They have proper ownership over the architecture here. They built Brooklyn. They built Harlem. You know what Brooklyn means? Brooklyn is a Danish word. Brooklyn. It was spelled Breuk-Lyn. That's the original word for Brooklyn. They put two O's because of the pronunciation. Brooklyn was spelled Breuklyn. Brooklyn, which is a Danish word. Harlem is a Danish word. Harlem Harlem had two A's in it. H-A-A-R-L-E-M. But it looked too non-English in that wording, so they took away one of the A's. Harlem ain't got nothing to do with black people. Harlem, the term and all of that was a Danish term. It's a Danish term. Brooklyn in Harlem. That has nothing to do with Africans. G.D. Compton was where you get Compton from California. That was a white pioneer, and they named it after him. G.D. Compton was a white man. Comptonville. That's what they call it in the beginning. Comptonville. And you'll find rappers that never even mention this. I'm surprised. I mean, come on. We evolve and we find out things that we need to know. Okay, Compton was not named after. Compton is from a white man, a pioneer over there, and he was a pioneer, and they named Compton after a white man. In other words, Compton's design was started with a white man. Okay, G.D. Compton. G.D. Compton was the one who was named after. They named it first Comptonville. It was called Comptonville first, after G.D. Compton. After that, they shortened it, just called it Compton. What I'm trying to show you with the main hoods we take so much pride in, it's all white architecture, starting with the name. G.D. Compton, you can go look it up. It was a white man. Okay. Brooklyn was a Danish word. That's why they put two O's. You don't even supposed to say Brooklyn. You're supposed to say Brooklyn, as with two O's. That's how it's supposed to be. That the O's is for emphasis on the Danish pronunciation. Brooklyn. That's how it was said. That's how it was worded and pronounced. See, you thought you from New York and you never knew it. Come on, man. That's what I'm talking about, buddy. That's 7 hours. Stop playing with me. You don't even know your city. Talking about, come on, man. You can't be serious. You didn't even know these things. This is not fun facts. This is education. That's what it is. You acting like the stuff I'm talking about is, well, I know this. This is a fun fact. This is not what this is. This is educating myself about my surroundings. Something you didn't do. Chicago is a Native American word. Chicago, it was an indication of wild onions growing in a certain area, in that area. It was a certain type of vegetation or onion that would grow, and they call it Chicago. It was based off of that. Miami, like in Florida, that's a tribe of Native Americans. Miami is a tribe. Miami, that's a tribe. That's why the educated man will always win. If we had really educated ourselves a long time ago, we would have been architects somewhere. You didn't educate yourself. You were just glad to get out of high school, and then out of high school, you was glad to be done with it, like a cat getting out of the bath, like a cat getting out of the bathtub. You know how a cat don't want to get in the bath? That's how you was as with education. We just run from it. the white Americans made America for what we enjoy. For all these landmarks and everything we enjoy. They made every street, they made every name in all 35th Street, give them credit where credit is due. Look at Manhattan. The white Americans had to name every single street. 2nd Avenue, 3rd Avenue, 45th Street, 56th Street. He had to go through all them streets and build them manually. Black people didn't do that. That was white America. Now you see why they're like they are. And then, a rapper gets some money and he's arrogant like he's God. So then you don't understand the arrogance of white men? You don't understand the arrogance of white men? When a rapper becomes a millionaire, he think he's God. The white Americans gonna say, well, build. If you God, why won't you build a country? We built a country. So then you got to use good human understanding. You would be a little arrogant too if you made a successful country like this. While you don't act like you understand the arrogance of a white man, you would be a little arrogant too if you built America. You'd be walking around with flags on your head too. Flags on your head. If black people built America, man, we would be wearing flags and jumping around. Yeah, this is our country. We built it. That's why they are the way they are. Now you get it. And you can't tell me you wouldn't be doing that. And you would be just as arrogant. The truth is, man, we would be just as arrogant as white people. If we built America, yes, we would. We would be just as arrogant as they are. And then we act like we don't understand it. Come on, all you got to do is use humanity. See, the prophet I don't hide from humanity. I understand the humanity, how we think, our heart, our souls, our minds. How humans think. You have to study it. This is how you beat people. This is how you understand people. And this is how you win people. With understanding humanity. You lacking on understanding humanity, you're going to lose, buddy. I'm telling you right now. Because ain't nobody trying to hear nothing if you ain't got no charges on me. They ain't trying to hear it. And that's humanity. Not aliens. Walk around talking about some stuff and ain't nothing going on in reality. But I'm showing you what's going on in reality on the same subject where these people are marrying children. Now that's competency. That's how you do it. Show people in reality. I did what you tried to do. I showed people in reality. And so, if you realize in chess, that's the checkmate. Because I did what you tried to do. I showed your country what you was doing with these children, and they can't deny it. It's right there. The receipts is the laws that they made. That's it right there. Right here in New York State alone, you had 385,496 cases of child marriage. From 2011 to 2019. You got to know this kind of stuff. I got numbers. I got dates. North Carolina still marrying children. Over 9,000 children have been married in the recent time in North Carolina. They marrying children down there. That's what I'm talking about. So imagine talking to me as a prophet about child molesters. I'm going to look at you like you stupid, like you an alien, like you don't know where you at. Because you don't know where you at. That's what I'm saying. You talking about real senseis and real masters, real spiritual black belts. We ain't trying to hear none of that foolishness. And see the trouble you in? And all I asked for was my money. That's all I asked for. That's what makes me a good sensei. I didn't care about destroying these people. I don't care about them. I don't have. At first, the vendetta was not that deep. All I wanted was my money when I realized I won. When I realized I won, all I wanted was my money. That's it. Now they try to paint me like I'm some King Kong, Godzilla, Loch Ness monster, Bigfoot, Abominable Snowman type of character. Man, stop playing, bro. I asked you for my, I stayed in the practical world and asked you for my money for a very long time. And you did not listen, but you was well aware. And what the thing is, what America need to realize, these people was well aware of the child marriage laws information. They knew they were defeated, and they still kept playing games. And that's why they want you gone. See, the wise man will come say, listen, all you got to do is cease and to exist. Discontinue and deceit and cease to exist as a brand, as Freemasons, Illuminati. That's all we asking. No more. Just disband and cease as a brand. That's what you know. No more of that. No more of that foolishness. You did enough. You did enough in our community. That's at a minimum. At a minimum, you have to disband as your organizations. That's what caused this problem. So without killing you, we would have to get rid of that. If you decide not to depart from that, now that's why you have to die with that. You have to die with that organization. And how they, in their format, the format has to die. If you don't depart from that format, you die with it. It's that simple. That's the most reasonable, wisest decision. You depart from Freemasonry. You depart from Illuminati. You've done enough to our community. If you don't, because that name got you brainwashed, if you ain't really doing nothing, the prophet show you ain't really doing nothing. Okay, so you just hung up on a name. You hung up on a little cool, little original name that ain't doing anything. You're not doing anything. That's basically what it is. I figured it out. Okay, we don't care about it. We don't care about that. We seen what it's made of. We all did. And we don't esteem it as really that special in our community. In the global community. We want it gone. Okay? We want it gone. We don't care. You can go underground and go somewhere underground. Like the Ninja Turtles. Okay, but that's it. Go underground like the Ninja Turtles. Go underground like Raphael or Leonardo or something. Go underground like Master Splinter. Okay? Do you think you're a master? Well, okay, Freemason, you think you're a master? We'll go under the ground like Master Splinter with the Ninja Turtles. I'm serious, man. Playtime is over, buddy. Ain't nobody trying to hear that goofy foolishness, man. I don't care. You try to make it cool and innovative, and it's not working, bro. It's not working. Okay, that did not work. We see what you tried to do, but it didn't work. You tried to act like this cool, spiritual, innovative thing that you was doing in the community, but that design was not of God, and it did not work. Okay? Now the Americans, they made what we call America. They made this. Right? They made this country. Black people was only the helpers at a construction site. Everybody work construction know what the helpers are, right? Okay. They were the helpers. You got the wheelbarrow, you got the little planks of wood, the drill. I done been on the construction site before. You got the hard hat, you working and doing little stuff. But if it wasn't for the architect, you wouldn't be there. If we left it up to Black America, it wouldn't be this. And that's how you know you're not the architects. If you was the architects, you would have built America regardless. You wouldn't have built America regardless. I don't believe that. I believe every community has their gifts. That's what I believe. I believe every community has their gifts. And we're all endowed in different ways. And the truth is, brains ain't everybody's strong suit. Okay? You might have big penises as black people, but that's not to say you're just as bright and smart as everybody else. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. Because I can show you how the Asian people, the Chinese, they the smartest in the world. I think Singapore is the smartest country in the world. If I'm not, the last time I checked, I think it was Singapore. Singapore has the most intelligent people in the world. Just at face value. I mean, not based on education, just the highest IQs, right? Yeah, that's the best thing to say. It was Singapore, if I'm not mistaken. But it definitely was out east. They are the smartest people in the world. Okay, and it ain't nothing the black person can do to be, you can talk about everything we did in Africa, all the pyramids, you can talk about all this mystery stuff, and at the end of the day, you don't have no IQ like them Asian people. That's their gift. That's their gift, and you don't have it. Okay? Now, as I'm saying, everybody on the same level of IQ, don't take it to the extreme. Don't insult my intelligence and insult your intelligence at the same time. Okay? I'm not saying every person is not, there's not intelligent people in every race of people, but every race has its gifts. An endowment. We talk about our endowment. There's other endowments of different communities that we don't have. Just like we got big penises, it's almost second to none. I mean, there's no other race of people that have penis sizes like we do. Okay, but at the same time, we don't have it all. We have physical endowment, but we don't prove to have the same level of endowment as these white Americans. They built America. What we built? Zimbabwe? No disrespect. So the white chess master say, okay, I'm gonna come outside of racism. Build in America. If you so bad, why don't y'all build in America? You bad, right? You endowed. You more endowed than us. You're more competent than us because you got a big penis. Okay, yeah, okay, you're endowed there. But let's see how endowed you are in your mind. Build in America like we did. Street for street in every country. And then you come in and sit on it like you the most endowed community. Because you are endowed physically. But why you can't build in America then? Why you can't build in America? Listen, that means all these streets got to be the right measurements. That means if you build a subway, you got to have a guy that comes in to understand mathematics. He didn't have Asian people. No disrespect. The white man did it himself. He didn't rely on Asians. That's what I'm trying to show you. You playing him stupid and he's not stupid. Look at America. How is he stupid? That's what I'm saying. You can't play him for stupid. That's, no, you can't. Because I'm looking at measurements. I'm looking at them subways. I'm looking at all them subway trains, tracks, and all of that. That all got to be right. You can't be rinky-dink and unprofessional like we can be at a time. Well, I think that was 32 inches over there. I think that was 52. I think that was 500 over there. This man had it all right. Us as black people, we unprofessional. That's why I stress that more than anything else, man. You cannot be unprofessional. White people come in, they got all. You look at the subways, look at everything they built. You gotta respect it. If you say you love this country and you respect this country, I gotta be honest with you. You gotta respect white America. You got to. You can't say black America. No, just them by themselves. Just them by themselves. If you are really a patriot, ain't no way in the world you gonna get around not respecting white America. It's impossible. You either gotta walk away from it or respect it. If you call yourself a patriot, ain't no way in the world you can't respect the same stuff I'm talking about. They didn't have your help. In other words, if they left it up to you, what would America be? They did all of it. The part that counts. They built the subways, the measurements. What do you have to say about that? It wasn't us. No, that's not ignorance. All you're gonna do is show me modern day architects, and that ain't what made the grid of America. The grid, GRID, was the white Americans. They made the grid. Now you can have black architects that build on the grid, right? Build just a building. Make a cool building on the internet. I mean, I'm just being 100. That's not the grid. So I'm aware of black architects, but it's not, come on now, don't insult my intelligence. I am talking about the grid. Okay? They built that. We didn't do it. Now you can talk about how enlightened we are and everything, and what I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm gonna keep it 100. This is how I'm gonna say it. Listen, man, we all got our gifts, and we all don't have the same gifts. That's real. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to make you do everything as black people, some things you can't do. I'm just keeping it real with you. That settles it, man. Because you got some type of people that think, well, black people could do everything, okay? Okay, buddy. You think black people can do everything? I'm not getting, okay. All right, listen. I ain't got nothing to say. I know reality doesn't show us this, though. They don't do everything. They haven't done everything. That's what we talking about. That's all I'm talking about. Have they done everything? No. So is this a sellout message? No, it's not, man. It's putting everything in its proper perspective. We're so biased about everything and so funny about everything. You need to hear the truth so you can see why people are the way they are. The reason why these Americans are like this, because they built this country. They were the architects of America. So if you built something, you will be mad if this was ran over with Mexicans too. You will be mad about that. Yes, you would. You will be mad if this was ran over by other people too. They made all these measurements. They made all the measurements. They made all the measurements. How can you not respect that? The subways, the streets. See, you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. See, you listen, man, listen. How you going to call yourself an American, but you cannot examine the competency of the architects of America? You can't even look at look at what he built right here. Look at what he built right there. Look at what, you can see why he's arrogant. Now you get it. Be human for a minute. If we built this whole country, we will be arrogant too. You'll be sitting around, yeah, you can't tell me nothing. We gonna say it our way, right? But the white man's doing the same thing. You can't tell me nothing. We built America, all this stuff. It's the same attitude. Now you see why they tripping. Now you see why ISIS is acting up. All of that is really white America frustrated, bro. That's all it is. All this stuff with Trump in the White House and everything, all of that is white America frustrated, because the truth is this country is overran with Hispanic and Latinos and black culture and Hispanics and Latinos is endangering being the owners of this country. But technically, it is in ownership of the white Americans. They're the proper architects of this country. And so then how do you tell people that have built on your grid that I appreciate what you did, but you still got to let us have proper ownership, even though you've done this stuff? Even though all these Hispanic and Latinos, I don't mind you coming here, but you got to understand we are the builders. We are the architects of this country. See, this is what they've been trying to say the whole time. The prophet is the one that's going to articulate it perfectly. They didn't do this. If it was me, I would have said we the builders. Case closed. Well, we helped, yeah, and I can pay you. Now, a just person will pay you for what you did, but I can't let you have it. I can't let you have it. I can pay you for what your ancestors did, but I can't let you have this. That's like you building a building. You the architect of a building, right? So some people help you build a building, right? And then they come back to you and say, yo, we think we should have this. This should be ours. We think this should be our building. We helped you build this. The architect is going to say, well, hold up, son. I can pay you for what you've done, but I can't let you own what I... You see what I'm saying? I can't let you own this building. Come on now, let's be reasonable here. I built the architecture for this country. I brought you in to place materials in place for this architecture. I can pay you for that service, but you're not the builders per se. You was the helpers that put the materials in the proper place. That's it. The builders is really the architects. The architects are the builders, because there's no building per se without the architects. You ain't gonna be building nothing. This guy sits down and do the electricity in the building, the water in the building. He makes the stairs, the basement, all this stuff, the wiring, everything. And here's the thing: all the measurements are perfect. Not second class. Well, I think 32 was right, but 45 ain't right. How unprofessional black people can be. Well, I think 52. Come on, be real. Our people will be talking about, oh, I think 52 was right. Oh no, that was 32. We gotta pull that down. That was 51. That's gonna make it heavy on the next level. I'm just being 100 with you. You gotta get credit where credit is due. They was the original architects of this country. So then, if you beat racism, you could not beat white families that have proper ownership. If you won in racism, which we probably won't ever will, but if we did win in racism, you still got the architects to beat. And guess what? That deals with the brands of everything that all these companies that we've grown to love, all this food that we've grown. They built all these companies. Most of them that count, most of them that we had over the years. They built not only the buildings and the architect, but the brand of cars and all this stuff, restaurants and everything, and all these other things. They built all of this stuff. Now imagine you talking about it was built on your ancestors' backs. Imagine you was putting it. No, that's kind of not how it was, because there would be no building without the architects. They helped, right? But you get paid for the service. That's it. Now that's the proper wisdom. The ancestors should have been paid for, because I believe every man deserves wage for his labor. When the country is in the right situation, every man deserves wages for his labor, but not the ownership. Come on. If this was a black country and you built everything, you gonna let white people come in and talk about they helped build this country? Oh, the country was built on their ancestors' back. First thing you're gonna say is, no, hold up. We made, you're gonna say exactly what I said. We were the architects of this. We brought y'all in to help. Right? And we can pay y'all for that. That's it. But we can't say this is yours. I mean, come on. You're not willing to take the liabilities of all the blood that had to be spilled to make it ours. You're not going to take that part. You're going to say you built it, but you ain't going to say you killed the Native Americans to have it. That's it right there, buddy. Boom. That's it now. You ain't going to spill the blood of Native Americans to have this country. You ain't going to kill a whole bunch of Native Americans to make a clean land to build on. You got to see, in order for you to be the Americans, you got to take all those liabilities and what comes with it. And that's why they don't care. That's why they don't care. They don't care who they clear out. They always been like that. And those in present time are going to be the same way. They going to say our ancestors cleared out whoever needed to be cleared out. And we going to clear out these Hispanic and Latinos. That's what I'm telling you, man. Listen, y'all, America is in one of the most dangerous times because of the threat of the overpopulation of Hispanic and Latinos in America through the illegal Hispanic and Latinos. I told you these white people can turn up on you, boy. I told you. They can turn up. They can turn up, man. That's why all you had to do was pay attention to Black America. We know they can turn up. Don't forget it. Don't get it twisted. But the greatest kingdom is God's kingdom. And see how they played themselves as black people playing around me. As I guess from what? An extension of America? As an extension of America, you playing around me? Then you have to face God's kingdom too. Yeah. I don't know what you was thinking, boy, but you got everything in wrong geographics. You got everything in the wrong geographics, buddy. I am well aware and sound-minded in my geographics, to where I even understand who the real architects of this country was. So if you won in a race war, you couldn't win with being owners. Too many brands. They own too many brands and too many architectures of the country. No, think about it. And how can they tell? What's an easy, nice way to tell you that we built all of this? We made all these brands. Us, not me and you. No, not me and you. Me, I built it. And you're here acting like we're incompetent. But not too long ago, you wasn't doing nothing. Not too many eons ago, you was on a wagon. But yet now you feeling yourself. Come on, man. Come on, listen. That's why, man, listen. Black people be playing themselves all the time, bro. All the time. And see, people gonna respect me, say, well, hey, this dude knows where he's at. You can't say he don't know where he at, because he done showed all the geographics that even black people ain't even gonna admit. They ain't gonna admit that even if you beat racism, you couldn't beat ownership. You would still, in other words, you would still have to fight white families that will kill you to have ownership over this country when you're a threat to it. And we're in the worst time now because of everything that's going on. We a threat to the ownership isn't a threat. See, because there's other elements that threaten the ownership. Overpopulation threatens the ownership. Where now this is basically Mexican America. This is basically Hispanic and Latino America. Okay, so then something drastic is going to happen because of their ownership being in danger. I'm telling you right now, buddy. I'm telling you right now. The proper ownership is in danger. So what you think they're going to do? Something desperate, something bad is going to happen. And I can't tell you what's going to happen. I can't tell you. But I know you would do the same thing. See, this is all about humanity and understanding the heart of humanity. You would do the same thing if this was an African country and it was overran with other people. You're going to take it back. That's what I'm saying. Be reasonable. Be real. Be real with yourself. You going to take this back. If you was in Africa and white people came there and they say, well, we think we should be, we just here, we want to be with part of this country and this should be ours. You think Africa is going to let white people run over Africa? No. Why? Because of African families that has owned Africa, have ownership over Africa since the beginning of time. You ain't going to allow, the whole world is not going to allow no white people to overrun. They tried. You can look at places like South America and the different other places. They tried, but it really didn't work because Africa belongs to Africans. China, you think China gonna let Hispanic and Latinos overrun China? Now, is that racism? No, they not gonna let them come there and overrun that country. No, they not. So what you think they would do? Something would happen. I don't know what it would be, but something would happen. They not gonna let, China wouldn't let black people come there and do it either. And they're not racist. But do you think black people gonna come and overtake, with black culture and all of that, and overtake China? Nope, it ain't gonna happen. So then, these wars to control is all about being left with no choice but to fight for proper ownership and rule over something that you have ownership over. And see, right there is where white America hasn't been able to properly articulate this. But if you go talk to white families, they're gonna say, well, I'm not racist. My family just built this country. My ancestors built this country. It's ours. It doesn't belong to African Americans. No, it don't. We took everything that come with it. We shed blood. We killed Native Americans, and they not gonna take that part. The African Americans will take this country, but not take the liability of everything that had to make it possible. They had to come with it to make it possible. You know what had to come with it to make it possible? They had to kill a whole bunch of Native Americans. They had to kill a whole bunch of them. You don't want to take, as black people, you ain't gonna take that liability. No, you're not. So that's not even a grown man's perspective. Because in order for you to take America as yours, and this is for anybody else, Hispanic and Latinos too, you got to take all that came with it to make this what this is. Which means, and you ain't gonna do it, you got to take the liability of killing all them Native Americans. White America takes responsibility. Well, you know what I mean. Well, they understand what they did. They have to bear that liability, all their existence. That they to make this what this is, they had to clear that out. Now, that's where you as black people, you as Hispanic and Latinos, you ain't gonna take no part of that liability, and that's the difference. See, this is real talk. That's what the prophet gonna talk. I'm gonna talk real talk. Where you don't want to take no liabilities of killing all the Native Americans, but you want to talk about you rule over America after they did everything they had to do to make this country what it is, what you enjoy. They had to do all of that, and you ain't gonna be willing to do it, are you? You ain't gonna stand and take the liability of it. When you look at the Native Americans, you gonna act like you as black people ain't had nothing to do with it. That's 7 hours. You gonna act like you ain't had nothing to do with it, but yet that's what made this what this is. So how you gonna act like it's yours in rulership without acknowledging the full lineage of how this became what it is? So if you became ruler, you would have to acknowledge that. You would inherit the liability. Well, yeah, you part of the rule of America. You're keeping it going, the rule going. You got to take the liability of it. Well, you get it, don't you? You're there, right, in rule. So you're part of them. And you're part of their liabilities. You're part of their liabilities. And you ain't built like that. You ain't going to take that part. And what you have to understand, white America did take that part. They took that part. They took that part where this is, we did all of this. We did all of this. Glory to you, man. We did all of this, and we took the liabilities of how many Native Americans we had to kill to make this what this was, what this is you call America. We seen this land, we loved it, we went to war about it. Okay, now imagine you just coming along and talking about you rule over America, but you can't take the liabilities that came with making it what it is. Imagine that. And see, that's what we talk about. That's what we talk about. So, you have to understand ownership. That's what this is all about. And it might be because I am part English myself. And everybody's not English. Some people, let me help you understand something about the mulattoes. That's what people, and I'm not saying that in a racist way, but that's what it was called in the beginning. Mulattoes. The mulattoes were not just English. The mulattoes were also Irish. That's why you can even see in Queen, in the movie Queen, where Halle Berry played a mulatto. She said, I got more Irish blood than all of y'all. She said Irish blood. So somewhere along the way, the Irish came in too. And I've seen people a person that took their DNA and they were black, African American, they did not have English. So that's one thing that if you're fluent about understanding DNA and ethnicities in America, Some African Americans are Irish, black and Irish, and some Native African Americans are black and English. I'm black and English. Don't assume. This is what we do in ignorance. We assume everybody is English. English is where you get the ancestors of America, the ones that came from England to here. I am part English. And so many people say it so haphazardly, like we're all English. No, we're not. We're not all English. Okay, so you can go check your DNA. Go check your DNA before you assume that you're English, and you're not English. I am English. You know, so for me, I might be speaking for the ancestors in me and for everything that happened. You know, because that's what your bloodlines is going to do. Think about it. You're going to speak to defend. Does that make sense? Or speak to reveal truth for your ancestors. And I can't explain the whole spiritual wiring of that, but you will find yourself defending African American position, English position, and so on and so on. You know, defending, revealing things, everything. Okay? Now, like I said, they are the proper architects, and now America basically belongs to Hispanic and Latinos. This is the bad part. I am part Latino too. So let's get this understood very clearly. And I have become connected to my Latino energy, which means I accept in my soul that I am part Latino. Okay? I accept it. Right? But that don't mean I'm not gonna keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. Okay? How do you tell people they've overpopulated the country, where it's an imbalance, where it doesn't even make sense anymore, where you go into every neighborhood and there's Mexicans and Latinos? That's not what the American dream was. The American dream was that we all came together as a melting pot, and that's what was so unique and beautiful, that it didn't just have one ethnicity. It was all these people coming together. And the older you get, you realize what it was. A kid, you can't really realize. You get older, you study the world, then you realize, okay, this is what was so unique about the Americans. It was like this, all these people coming together with a common cause. That's what it was all about. At its highest peak, when we got past the most disgusting part of racism, it really became all these people coming together in a unique way, in unison, serving a common cause. That's what was cute and beautiful about America. Okay, but that got swallowed up with all the Hispanic and Latinos coming to the country. I gotta keep it real. And how I know it's out of control is because when I went back to Charlotte, North Carolina, where I'm from, I was in a black neighborhood. And they even are the workers in the neighborhood, at the grocery stores and at the restaurants and at the phone place. But this is a black neighborhood. So my thought is, this is my thoughts. That should serve that neighborhood, that community should be able to get the jobs in that neighborhood. Because when we go to Mexican neighborhoods, Mexicans work in Mexican neighborhoods. We don't work over there. You don't see black people working over there, and you don't see white people working over there, do you? No, you don't. You don't. You don't see no black people working in no Mexican neighborhoods. That's ridiculous. You know better than that. You don't see no white people over there. So they work in their neighborhoods and our neighborhoods. That's not a balance. That's not being racist. I'm pointing out something besides race altogether. Think about it, man. They work in their neighborhoods and our neighborhoods. We don't work in their neighborhoods. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. You know you ain't gonna get Man, listen, you know over there in Jackson Heights where all the Mexicans working, you ain't finna go get no job over there. You already know what time it is. You not. You not. You not, bro. I'm telling you. You don't stand a chance. It's almost like you know better than to try to even go over there. But yet they come into your neighborhoods and look for work. They'll come anywhere. Okay? That's not the American dream. The American dream was a melting pot where we all came together. That was the dream. Not overran with Mexicans. Not overran with Latinos. That's not the American dream. And that's where we are. That's what, and that's how you know we're in a dangerous time right now. Because somebody's going to be, they want to manipulate. And I don't know how that's going to happen. But some would say that's why it's almost the mark of the beast. Because see, some people would say this is how this going to box all illegal people out. If you don't have a chip, you don't have something, then you're going to be off the grid. That's how they're going to figure it out. Okay, if you don't get chipped, you're off the grid. Think about it. It makes perfect sense. I'm not saying that that's going to definitely happen, but I'm just throwing this out there. I'm just having grown man's thinking, right? You can kind of see how, in order to box them out, the illegal migrants, specifically, not Hispanic Latinos born in this country, the illegal people. Okay, how they can box them out is by starting a whole system where everybody has to be signed up to. You see how it's going? Just pay attention now. Where a certain system is built. Now, if you don't sign up with that, then you off grid, and that's how we gonna weed you out. You ain't gonna be able to do nothing. You ain't gonna be able to buy, sell, or trade if you're weeded out this grid. If you weeded out this database. If you're not attached to this database, or this is another good thought. How about this comes into play without it being the mark of the beast, but then it progresses to the mark of the beast? So let's say they start out a chip system, a database system where it's a chip system, but it doesn't start out as the mark of the beast. But this is a system that is used to weed out these illegal migrants from getting anything from America. That progresses and becomes the system that's used for the mark of the beast. But it wasn't initially for that reason. It was, see how I get tricky again? See that part? Now you see what I'm saying? It's something to think about. Never be scared to think. God didn't make you wait, because God ain't challenged by you thinking. Because ultimately he gonna prove everything and show everything about everybody what it is and what it's not. So it ain't nothing wrong with thinking. As long as you don't say this is what's gonna happen. I'm just thinking this system can come without it being the mark of the beast and used initially to weed out all these Hispanic and Latinos where they can't get, to starve them out, where they can't even get nothing. That's what they, listen man, listen. How else is this gonna stop? How else is illegal migrants gonna stop? It's out of control. It's listen, that part I don't deny. It's out of control. It's just over. When I seen, it's not even just the illegal migrants. I gotta keep it real. It's also they work in black neighborhoods. That should be all opportunities for the surrounding people, because really black people feel comfortable seeing their own people anyway. We more comfortable with our own people, just like you're more comfortable with your own people. Seeing them in the stores servicing you, you're more comfortable with that. Why wouldn't we be? Why wouldn't we be comfortable with that? Why do we gotta be racist when you feel the same way? If you go to a Hispanic or Latino neighborhood, you feel more comfortable with your own people servicing you. Come on, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying it applies to everybody. We feel that you gonna feel more comfortable. You talk to a brother or to a sister. You know what I'm saying? And on whatever the situation gonna be, because they're gonna be more fluent in understanding you. You even go to a phone store and you dealing with Hispanic Latinos, and you explaining something. You know what I'm saying? And the way you explaining it, they might take it out of context and think you're being a jerk or whatever. And your own people gonna understand where you're coming from way better. Way better. They gonna know if it's turned up or are you just mad. You know what I'm saying? Or you really turned up. They gonna know the difference, man. Now somebody else might not know. And they take it out of context and don't want to give you no type of service that day and tell you to come back tomorrow to with somebody, something like that. And the truth is, man, you were just angry at the moment or whatever, and your own people gonna understand that. You know what I'm saying? So, that's, if not for any other reason, this is why one's own tribe, that's why I teach tribalism, which that's almost like what the white supremacists teach. He believes all the people should be to themselves. White people should be with white people, black people should be with black people, etc., etc. I teach tribalism, which is, what the difference is, I believe that you're going to gravitate towards your own people. It's just common sense. Because you grew up eating certain food, you grew up listening to certain music, and you ain't going to just go over here to another race of people and just eat their food and listen to their music and everything like that. That's not going to, a woman, love can make you do that for a man or a woman. I'm not saying some of our people going to do that, right? And that's beautiful. But not all of us. All of us can't just go to the Mexican community and stop eating our food, stop listening to our music. So basically we're all to ourselves anyway. We're going to be to ourselves. We're going to be among our own people. We're never going to be all together. No, we're always going to practice tribalism for if not for any other reason, for the food and for our culture. To eat our own food. Okay, if you can't find a soul food restaurant, what you gonna do? And you got plenty bread. Let's just consider you got plenty bread. You got access to all. You got a car. You know what I mean? You want cornbread, greens. You know what I'm saying? You want some cornbread and greens. Let's just say that's all you wanted. You ain't gonna be able to get that right unless you go to a black place, man. You might go get cornbread and greens, but it ain't gonna be right. It's not gonna be right, bro. Not according to your culture. Let's say you eat pork. You want pork chops, collard greens, and cornbread. And black-eyed peas. How you gonna go and just go to another restaurant and just get that? You ain't gonna get it. You ain't gonna get it from white people. You ain't gonna get it from Hispanic or Latinos. They might have some type of greens. They might have some type of beans, but they ain't gonna have black-eyed peas, pork chops, cornbread, collard greens, pinto beans, peach cobbler. You know what I mean? They ain't gonna have that like that on deck, like that. You know what I'm saying? So if not for any other reason, you gonna practice tribalism because of food. What you grew up of. Your sense of morale is gonna be better when you eat your own food. You're gonna have stronger morale psychologically when you eat food that you grew up on, that gives you a state of nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? So so let's just say we was in the desert. We gonna all go our separate ways for the first reason, which is food. Okay, you using pots and pans to cook this? No, we don't want to wait for this food. Let's just say it was two tribes of people, black and Mexicans. We want to cook tacos. Well, we want greens. Two tribes in the desert. Well, okay, you want this? We don't want that. We want pork chops and greens and cornbread and black-eyed peas. Y'all want tacos? Yeah, we want tacos and enchiladas. We want tacos and enchiladas. Well, listen, we got to go our own ways. Yeah, I agree. You can take these pans, we take these pans, okay. And you're going to go your separate ways. That's what's going to happen. You're going to first separate for food and music. I want to listen to this music. Oh, no, man, come on. I just got drunk. I just took out a drink, man, to put my song on, man. So you gonna make me sit here and have all these drinks, and I'm sitting here listening to some music. That's what's gonna happen. So you gonna go your own way for the music, and for when you drink and you want to dance, and come on, you gonna want to hear some good old R&B, and they want to play something. You are not gonna sit there. Old school ain't gonna say, nah, man, you ain't gonna sit there and have drinks and do that. You might, for a little bit, but after a couple hours, come on. You start getting saucy, you want to hear your songs, don't you? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So for food culture, and music, you're going to go your own way. I call this tribalism. It's not segregation. It's not racism. It's just what you're going to gravitate towards naturally. And that's common sense. You ain't gonna gravitate to something you don't know nothing about. Food you don't know nothing, music you don't know nothing about. A whole people ain't gonna just go and abandon what they grew up on and then become a part of something else. Some other culture. You're not gonna do that. And they're not gonna do that. And so I coined the term in this definition, based on this definition. I can say I coined this definition. Tribalism is basically you being part of a certain culture in music and food and everything, and that's what you're going to gravitate towards. That's what one is going to gravitate towards. And you can add subcultures in there, movies in there. You can add all of that. You ain't gonna just start going and watching some Chinese movies. You're gonna watch the movies you grew up on. You're gonna watch all that stuff you grew up on, all them shows, all that stuff. Okay? And they gonna do the same thing. They gonna watch all the TV shows the Mexicans grew up on, all that stuff, all these movies and everything. Something we don't even know nothing about. Some of the movies we don't even know nothing about. And that's not wrong. That's tribalism. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not racism. That's common sense. You ain't gonna wake up one day and just go over here. And are you racist for not doing that? No, you're not racist for doing it. That's common sense what you're gonna do. You're gonna stick with your tribe. You're gonna stick with your tribe of people. That's what you're gonna do. Okay? You ain't gonna just wake up one day and go and hang out with the Mexicans and never come back. Now some people do. But not all of us. Okay? Not all of us. We ain't no way that's gonna happen. Okay? But like I said, here in America, this is a white man's country. He earned this fair and square. And now that it's in danger, when I say fair and square, what I'm saying is he gets proper credit for everything that we enjoy, that we just take for granted, like all these streets and everything. He made all of this stuff, man. All the streets and everything. You say your hood, he made it. He the one did it. He made the measurements, the blocks, everything. That's the truth. That's the truth. The white guy came in and made all the blocks. You can talk about Southside Jamaica. You can talk about Marcy projects. You can talk about all this stuff. Staten Island, he made it all. And that's what I'm saying. So then, you can't make it past that. You can't make it past that. You can't make it if you won wars against racism, you still wouldn't win when it comes to proper ownership. There's no way to win that war. And that's what the danger is. Because the black culture is making white America less relevant. And they really are. I mean, think about it. Between black people, Hispanic, and Latinos, white culture is not like it used to be in the 80s. We used to sit back and watch their movies. Oh, that part. That's it now. You remember when we used to watch white movies? No, we don't still do. No, we don't. We're more into subcultures, and then now with the internet, with stuff, we just watch black people. We watch our own people. Look at your habits. The internet made it to where now you can be more selective with what you watch. which means you watch a lot of black podcasts. Come on, that's what you're doing. You go watch black movies, most likely, and you might throw a couple white movies in there, but for the most part, the internet and the new medias, the new type of media, the new platforms of medias that we have gives you the ability to go into tribalism, where you go more to your preference from your tribe. That's what Hispanic and Latinos do. They can watch all these movies, old school movies, everything. They gonna go more into that. That's what they gonna do. And then on the internet, they gonna talk to their own people. They gonna watch podcasts for their people and stuff like that. Think about it. They ain't gonna go watch the black guys. Come on, no, not really. Think about it. You now have more access of being fully in control of your entertainment. What you gonna do? You're gonna go to some type of entertainment that that reflects your culture and your tribe that you come from. That's common sense. White people gonna do it. Everybody gonna do it. Black, white, Hispanic, Latinos, Asians, they gonna do it too. And in this case, in a tricky way, with black people dominating the internet, we have taken over as far as number one, as far as culture. And that's almost like making white America second fiddle. You can't feel that way? They're not really, they don't make those powerhouse movies like they used to. The comedies, we used to watch all that stuff, the comedies and everything. But the internet kind of took us away from all the white movies too. Because we had to sit through it for entertainment. Sometimes it wasn't nothing else on. We started getting into white movies. Come on, keep it real. We was watching a lot of white movies. See, that's how we got close to white America. You know what I'm saying? Through these movies. That was the main thing that got us. The music, not really. You know what I'm saying? We got like our own music. But the movies, that's what got us. All the little movies they used to make, Ghostbusters and all of the Gremlins and all these different movies. You know, we got into all their stuff. And that's how we got a camaraderie between black and white people. It was the movies that did it more than the music. I mean, you know, we ain't get into no rock and roll. Not really. You know what I'm saying? We might have had a couple white boys and white girls, you know, on our side or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, Madonna, we like Madonna as black people. We like Tina Marie. Tina Marie was just black to us. You know, she was with Rick James and all of that. So, you know, but we definitely embraced Madonna in the beginning, especially in the beginning. In the beginning, we definitely embraced her. You know what I'm saying? But as far as music, movies, Dolly Parton too, because Dolly Parton was just a beautiful woman, and we all know why. We think she's beautiful. You know, okay. Americans already know why. Okay, I'm not trying to be lustful, but we all know why. You know, all black men like how Dolly Parton is built. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real. We all did. We all liked how she was built and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Who enough? Cher too. Cher. All black men think Cher is beautiful. Cher and Dolly Parton. See, these are things that white America might not know. I mean, people in the hood, yeah. Dolly Parton, especially Dolly Parton. We all know why, because she had big breasts. Okay, come on, let's just keep it real. Okay, I'm not being lustful, but it was that was the main reason. Okay, but she had a pretty face too, smile and face. I'm not saying she wasn't beautiful, but okay. So Cher was beautiful too. Cher had that look where like you wonder if she was part Native American or. If you look at Cher, it's like, man, what can she? What ethnicities is she? I don't think she's just one ethnicity. I don't think so. Just her face, her bone structure, her face and everything. We always thought she was beautiful. And then you go back in time, Cher was beautiful. You go all the way back, man. Cher was very beautiful, man. And even now she's still beautiful. But so she's always a lovely spirit. We like Cher. You know, so we always had people that we liked, even though we pro-black. You can be pro-black all you want. You still like Dolly Parton. You still like Cher. Cyndi Lauper, you can say her too, and Madonna. You can talk all about that. See, that's how an American is. A pro-black American gonna talk all you want to talk, but you still like Madonna, you still like Cyndi Lauper, you still had your picks. You know what I'm saying? And then you watch all these white comedies, and you did all that too. See, we can't forget now. I mean, in the middle of like all this stuff that's going on, don't forget, man, how much white America influenced you. All that stuff you used to watch. That's life. That's life. And that was culture for you. You watch all them comedies and all that, all these beautiful white women you liked. Come on, you liked them. Yeah, you did. You liked one of them. Cindy Crawford, Julia Roberts, and all. Come on now. And then Prince had all them women on his band and all of that. Wendy and Lisa and all of that. Come on now, man. But what people didn't know was Apollonia, and I think this was a big fail. I didn't even know Apollonia was Mexican. No one knew that. And the Mexicans probably knew. Of course, they know. But black culture didn't. I thought Apollonia was Italian. She looked Italian to me. Back then, she kind of looked like a white girl, but didn't. She kind of looked Italian. That's how I took her. I'm serious. I thought Apollonia was Italian. But come to find out, she was Mexican, bro. But see, the truth is they couldn't package it like that. But the whites took her in because she just had this look, man. Like it's black people, white people, all different types of people that got this look, this universal look. That's why we wind up liking women from different, like that's white or different. They got this universal look, and Apollonia was one of those people. She has this universal look. So she was embraced by white America. With I think they were saying something like why they didn't even want they wondered why she did the movie with Prince and everything like that. But it was foolishness because she's Mexican, he's black. Why not? But they played it like she was like a white girl. Why even do that movie with a guy like? That's how I heard it when she had a little. Apollonia had an interview not too many years ago. I watched a recent interview of Apollonia. Right there. I didn't even know she was Mexican until I listened to that interview. You know, but even with Mexicans, we had our pick on who we like. Selena stole the hearts of black people. If you don't like nobody Mexican, you like Selena, the original Selena. It broke our heart when we seen that movie. How she got killed and everything. It broke us down. It's still, we have Selena in our heart. If we don't got nobody else. And Carlos Santana too. No, I'm serious. We got Carlos Santana playing that guitar and how he play it like nobody else play it. It's just like, man, if you're really cultured in America, you gotta have Selena and Carlos Santana in that order for most people. Cause Selena went to the movies, like, you know, we seen her in the movie. We didn't have to dig into the music. Mind you, this is before the internet. We didn't have to dig into the music to know. You know, you had to be around certain real musicians to know Carlos Santana, or you had to come from a certain era. And your dad and your family had to come I would say the West Coast. The East Coast might have left out Carlos Santana a little bit in the beginning, but now it's he's global. And but Selena took the hearts of everybody, man. That's just like she was one of those souls, man, universal. You know what I'm saying? You can say what you want to say about the Mexicans, but you love Selena. Yes, sir. And ironically, most of us can agree on who plays Selena. J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez. Yeah. Most black people. She got the heart of. She had our heart because she was a fly girl. See, people don't know. Jennifer Lopez was a fly girl on A Living Color back in the day. You can go back and look at some of the footage with the fly girls. Everybody remember the fly girls on A Living Color. She was one of the fly girls. So you know, we've liked her since then. And then you go to all the movies she been in and all of that stuff, man. So she won our hearts too. You know what I'm saying? So you know, that's how it is. There's people that got this universal appeal. You know what I'm saying? and they are ambassadors for their people, so that we take them seriously, we show them love, we consider them as our own, as our equals. They are ambassadors to show the same level of intelligence that we see in our own community projected through these ambassadors from different ethnicities. And that's basically how it is. It's how it's said. It's understood that people go out for their community, whether it's black, white, Hispanic, Latino, and you are a person that project what your community stands for, and you're able to also show the same levels of competency that's seen in other ethnicities and tribes, and so you're respected as a result. Okay, that's why the main goal is, man, to show competency in every tribe. But America, the white man, the bad part about it, with all his building, he should have fought more to talk about ownership than racism. Once he built America, I would have stopped talking about racism and just started talking about ownership. We own this. I can show you how we built it. Ownership, the architect, all this stuff y'all enjoy, we built it. And I would have kept harping on that so people understood ownership. Because all people gonna look at is injustice and racism, and see how it came about was like a lot of families are taught that white Americans have ownership, but it comes out nasty because of all the culture and the racism and everything, and then the fight against white America because of racism. Now, kind of trying to articulate ownership comes out as racism. Basically, almost. But if you just fought for ownership, you would win. There's no way you couldn't win. If I was white, totally white, I would have just came in talking about ownership. That's it. I come in talking about ownership and it's over. Ain't nothing you can say about that, buddy. Ain't nothing you can say. But see, really, because a culture that wasn't created and understood, it's almost hard for people to even digest that from white people, that you got ownership, because the first thing we gonna harp on is our position in the situation. But if we had years and years to understand this, then people will understand that they built the grid of this country. And they took the liabilities of killing so many Native Americans. And like I said before, no one's going to take that liability but them. We ain't going to share in that liability, but we'll talk about we made America, this, that, and the third, woo, woo, woo. But you ain't going to take the part where it comes to where you got to take the liability. You got to take this liability of how many people got killed. That's part of it. See, like Malcolm X teach, there's no revolution without bloodshed. And this became a part of the reason why I thought I couldn't follow Malcolm X until I grew as a man. And I realized, that's the only way you gonna take over and conquer, is by conquering somebody else. That's humanity. That's how the food chain goes. Somebody has to play the slave almost in order for a society to even work, because nobody's going to want to play these certain positions. So how are they going to play these low positions? Who's going to play those low positions? How's it going to be determined? It's going to be determined by those who conquer, those who are in power and rule. Let's just look at it as far as ethnicities. What I'm saying? One ethnicity to another. Who's going to be the one submitting in most countries? The one that doesn't rule. The one that hasn't killed. The one that kills is the one that's going to rule. It's just how it is. And most people ain't going to just willingly move out the way. Think about it. You could be anywhere. Somebody's not going to willingly move out of your way. But if you're a savage enough to just go ahead and strike that person in the head and get them out your way, it's always like this, man. Even us as spiritual warriors, we almost got to do the same thing to the Americans that was done to the Native Americans. We got to get them out. I got to get them out of my way. That's the game of conquering. It's the food chain. But see, in our case, really, That wasn't what I was after. You know what I'm saying? I'm a spiritual warrior. I'm a servant of God, but I was put into a situation where I had to fight for myself because people basically was insinuating without saying, like, you should just die. And there was no, and now people don't realize there was no reason for me to die. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. And that's how you know I'm truly innocent as far as the context and the narrative of things you've been told in its entirety. Because there's no reason for me to die. That's why I maintained. That's why I still stayed the same. It ain't. It wasn't no reason for me to die. So what you gonna do? Just give in to death and there ain't no real reason? No, it's not no real reason. I know why all that stuff happened. I know why all this stuff popped off. I know what it's all about. And if I'm in a situation, how you gonna tell me what happened? Because you was arrogant. You thought you knew. But now you see the arrogance. Where you thought you knew what my situation meant. I mean, basically. But then I came in and showed you. Because I got other people I talk to that's close to these same people that you was talking about. Okay, and they told me information. And then you didn't know this information. I knew it. You didn't know. Come on, you played yourself telling me about what happened in my life, my family. I know what happened. I know what it was all about too. And why wouldn't I know? This is my family after all. I know what it was all about. And I know the context. I know stuff that, without airing people out, that you don't really know. That's just common sense. But see, I maintained class in this situation. But then I was forced to conquer those who trying to conquer me. That's just a rule of the land. That's the understanding the food chain. And me being a Christian, God, his kingdom, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, I'm part of the Lion of the tribe. I'm part of his tribe. I'm part of the tribe of the Lion of the tribe of Judah, if that makes sense. And it wasn't going to happen like that. This is God's kingdom. I don't think people understand this. So in my situation, I was forced to conquer what was trying to conquer me. I was forced to destroy what was trying to destroy me, and it's no other way to look at it. So that's the proper definition and context of this situation. But as you can see, I'm very aware of my geographics more than the average person. I'm well aware of it. I know what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, it's a very dangerous time because all of this stuff, all the stuff that happened with the Hispanic and Latinos and everything here overrunning the country. It's very dangerous right now. And the reason why is because somebody wants to come in and manipulate that, and it might not be for racism, it may be for ownership of America. Families own this country, white families, and that's just what it is. There's no way to manipulate that. So there's danger when obviously your country is in danger of being given to other ethnicities, and you have proper ownership. You see what I'm saying? So that's what puts us in a dangerous time, man. I'm gonna probably do part 2 on it, man, because I really just need to expound more on it, explain more about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just do part 2.